How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another week of Everlast. I think you guys can hear me. We're good. All right.
Woo!
Is everyone here? Sweet. So this week we have three of our players joining us as they continue on their adventure. So let's go ahead and introduce the members of Eclaas Eeas. As always, starting with Max.
Hello, I'm Max. I'm playing Zill, who looks like this. With now Waffle. Waffle has a name. He's my mouse.
Waffle the
And we have
mouse.
also decided, with the help of the Discord, that Waffle needs an axe of his own.
Oh.
It's
Maybe
gonna
Zill
be
can
about,
craft that.
gonna be about this big.
Don't make don't make it so it takes an entire holiday action, please.
I'm hoping to just find something on the ground in the dungeon to just
It's a
put a
freaking
little
glass
toothpick
shard.
on.
Just basically
Anyway.
just like tie it to his tail, and he can go up and be like with his tail going like tomahawk monster toes.
Yeah, so he's an adventuring part of the party now. We sent him as a scout, so now he needs defense of his own.
True.
Very
Anyway,
nice, very nice indeed.
here we are.
Here we are. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to Cole.
Hello. I am Cole, and I play Luxolia of the Silverwood, and I am the party's resident healer. So hopefully people don't die.
And he does a much better Luxalia voice than I do.
Good. I'm glad.
Go
He
figure.
plays looks like he is looks like
That's good.
I tried my best.
It's still the Sinzirak voice still kills me. Oh, charmed, I'm sure. It's more like Julia Childs, I guess, but it's nice. It's good. And then moving on, we have Belden. So Belden is the resident grump of the group. He's one of the physical attackers of the party, and he punches things to oblivion. That's kind of his job. He's also a troublemaker and does all kinds of sketchy stuff. If you tuned in last session, he additionally played some pranks on Zill and Yuki and all that kind of fun stuff. And he got wrecked by some, he's starting to, suffer when it comes to vice and points of vice and that kind of stuff. So, yeah, that was not so fun. He's going into madness a little bit. But then moving on, we have Thordane, who is another one of the support characters. So where Luxalia supports a lot in combat and a lot through prayer and healing, where Thordane does a really good job of supporting is on the road. Outside of that, the party's pretty much only ranged attacker. I guess Luxalia does a fair amount of that too. But he uses a bow in order to kill things pretty hard. So that's what he does, and he will be played by Dane today, and Belden will be played by Max today. And then let's go ahead and finish with Dane.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dane. I play Mistletoe Yuki. She's a silver draken from Flamongolith in the Refining Peaks far north. She's a bard character. However, she is a physical DPS as well. She's a sword dancer, which comes with its really fun perks and stuff of being able to dispatch people really, really quickly. But we do have one more thing to talk about in particular. Kyle, is there anything that you want to mention when it comes to the Patreon and stuff? Like any changes as far as how hope can be used?
Changes?
I mean, not really necessarily any changes, but any additions.
How hope can be used.
Yeah. I guess what I'm alluding to is those of you who have hope, you can just decide to give it to a player. You don't have to
Oh,
like
yeah,
wait
yeah,
for a
yeah.
moment.
Yep. Yeah, so you don't have to necessarily wait for a specific moment. And so essentially what you can do in the comment section, if you are part of the Patreon, is you can say in the comments like hope and then just type in the character name afterwards. So Zill, Luxalia, Belden, Yuki, or Thordane. And what will end up happening is they will have this hope to be able to carry into their stores. The way that hope works, however, is you can't give more than one to a character and they can't carry more than one at a given time. So, like, for example, let's just say Yuki did something really cool in roleplay and has hope. And let's just say someone on the chat decides, hey, I want to go ahead and give Yuki some hope. You can't until Yuki spends that hope. It might be better spent providing it to someone else. which, you know, it could be used to help prevent death. It could be used for looting rolls. It could be used to hit someone for a target. It could be used, like, for example, with Belden in potentially rolling much lower on the madness chart, whatever the case. Yeah, so it's useful in a bunch of different ways. So for those of you that are part of the Patreon, especially if you find yourself forgetting to use it or struggling finding an opportunity to present it like during normal gameplay, feel free at any given time within the chat. We'll be looking in the chat as much as possible. I know especially Dane will be looking in the chat, hopefully, more than I will be. Figuring out if anybody has any hope to be able to use, especially for those who do have it in the Patreon. You got to spend it by the end of the month, and because this is our last session for the month of September, might as well give it and might as well utilize it. So yes, really good thing to note. Also, for those of you who don't know, this month, and specifically on September 22nd, is Hobbit Month. You know that Dane and I especially, but pretty much everybody here are huge fans of Tolkien. And so it's really nice to be able to celebrate that. And so do what you will. Celebrate the works of J.R.R. Tolkien this month for the remainder of the month, that is. So enjoy that. Last but not least, my name is Kyle, and I am the creator and Fate Weaver here in Everlast. And we are, currently this is a game that we talked about last session that it's been going on for about 2.5 years, which is freaking crazy. And seeing just like how far the characters and everything have progressed all the way up until this point. And that being said, I have some things to get to talk about just super duper quickly. Some logistics. Warning. Notice that there's like a demon in there, like pay attention to it. Yes. Fantasy Forge Studios and Kyle LaFont own all copyrights in the text, images, videos, audio, graphics, story, gameplay mechanics, and all the intellectual property involved in the creation of Everlast. Basically don't take it and sell it as your own stuff. But that being said, feel free to use it in your own homebrews or that kind of stuff. Utilize the world as much as you can. To be able to, create maybe your own D&D campaign with Everlast features and Everlast characters. That could be really fun. I mean, we tried it for like a 1.5 years, and it was really fun. So do that. Feel free to use it as much as you want, but this is extended to things like the music that you hear, like combat music, the opening screen music, all that kind of stuff. But now that we have kind of all of those small logistical things out of the way, let's go ahead and jump right into the world of Everlast. So, just a little bit of recap. I'm not going to go over the whole island adventures. For those of you who've been tuning in so far, there's a lot that's happened here on Aishen Island. But the party is thus at a point in their journey where they are in a dungeon keep. And the whole purpose of them being in this keep is to dispatch of a big baddie guy that's in there called the sorcerer, Ameos, or according to Zil, Amos. And their job has been sneaking in, infiltrating, and dispatching of all of basically the generals under Ameos. And for the purpose of collecting keys in order to unlock something to be able to challenge him. The couple of things that they still have yet to do is, one, find a way for the group to be able to get what's his name? Why
Duluth.
am I blanking on this? Duluth, yes, Duluth, inside the Jungle Keep in order to utilize his last statue, his last key of sorts. Additionally, there is some looting opportunities and stuff within this keep, but just figuring out like, what's going on and discovering maybe some of like the history and stuff behind this place. This seems like a random place in the middle of nowhere, and Eclaas Eeas doing their darndest to try to rid it of all the voiden energy. Have a lot to be able to experience and a lot to be able to do. That being said, where the group of Eclaas Eeas last left off, they made their way into the sewers, and with Yuki and Zil joining up with the rest of the group, they went into a floor covered in skeletal remains of all kinds of creatures. Yeah, it's pretty gross, and there was a nasty cultist lady in there, and basically she reanimated the dead. And fortunately, after a decently long battle sequence, Eclaas Eeas was able to rid the room of her, and claiming the last totem, to which Zil was able to correctly insert, oddly enough, the totems into the water, the flame, and the lightning, different portions of it. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So that's where we left off, is Zil had just placed the last one into the stone obelisk that says flame or fire.
See? Did anything happen when Zil inserted them?
I mean, nothing that, like, right off the bat that you've noticed, other than the fact that they fitted, and nothing bad happened. One thing that you do note, though, however, is in the middle, you did, as you began to insert those, the red ring that was, like, around, like, the bluish mana energy had dissipated. And so you had gotten rid of the evil presence that was there, and the red ring that was around it had dissipated. However, there is still a blue glowing inside. And so that's something that there's some kind of energy field that's around the center of this pillar. And yeah, I mean, it's up to you guys to kind of figure out what to do in that situation. But this is not a fun situation necessarily to be in, because yes, while the evil is gone, you're still in a room littered with bones and littered with corpses. So it's kind of up to you guys to decide, like, what to do from here on out.
Great.
Yeah. Well, Zil, I'm very impressed, Yuki pipes up, that you were able to identify these. How did you do this? This is just a bunch of scribble mumbo jumbo.
I don't know. I'm a little freaked out.
And so is Luxalia.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Luxalia can't
Luxalia
necessarily read
knows
it, but
its
she
point.
recognizes that it's, not good.
Zil, you worry me.
I'm worried too.
Good. You
I don't
should
know
be.
why I know this.
And as you guys are having this conversation, you notice that Belden is just kind of sitting there, and oddly enough, he's not rambunctious at all. He's kind of just standing there, like looking at all of you, not any kind of weird looks on his face. He's actually kind of like taking his arm and like kind of like stretching, but it's like the most normal you've seen him. Like there doesn't seem to be any kind of like devious, intense or anything that behind his eyes. It's just like he's present and that's it. Very odd, very strange. Like to a normal person, be like, all right, like they're just coming along. This is just normal NPC. Let's do it. But for him, no. This is like very out of character. So
Very convenient as well, I'd have to say.
yeah, that's true.
Thordane walks over to him, noticing his awkwardness, and he's just like, "Hey, Belden, how's it going? You seem to be doing pretty well against those skeletons."
Yeah, and he just kind of like glances up at Thordane a little bit, and he shakes his head and says, "Let's just get this over with." And then he kind of like hangs his head down a little bit and kind of like starts kicking around some of the bones beneath his feet.
I couldn't agree more, sir. And Thordane just walks back over to the group.
Nice.
Well, I mean, we have 3 statues. There's the one space left, right?
Correct. So it's the
Okay.
one that's at the very front of the pillar. So you've gotten the left, right, and the back one of this stone dais. But there is still the one up front, which is still needs to be inserted.
Well, that's obviously for Duluth, right? Did any of you find an entrance or anything for Duluth? I mean, Zil and I didn't when we were fighting the Bloodluster. What about you, Luxalia?
We were hoping this would be it. Did I see anything that Belden had last session?
Anything that Belden like had
we
on
had-
his person?
Yeah, like a stone hand, perchance?
Oh, look! Yuki takes it out of glove. You mean this, Luxalia? And hands it to her.
Yeah, that. Yeah, that we found a statue that was missing a hand.
Well, maybe we should give it a
So maybe
hand.
we could yeah.
Go check that out.
Thordane jumps
Yeah, that'd be
in. How convenient.
Yes,
Well,
please.
Luxalia, when you were off doing whatever, who knows whatever you were doing, Belbin wasn't very helpful in telling us what you guys were actually doing when we were off doing our thing. Did you guys
Checks out.
discover anything? Yeah, right. Exactly. Did you guys discover any discover anything? And literally, Yuki just like looks over at him, just like minding his own business in the corner, and it's just like checks out. Did you find anything while we were gone? We didn't really find anything in particular except for just the statue in this hand.
Yeah, no, we I pretty much just remember the statue without the hand, and then I was like, Belbin, try to figure this out, and then he couldn't, and then we this feels like it was so long ago, even though it was like an hour ago or two. I don't know. It's yeah, and then I pretended to be Sinzirak, and then we like tailed these people, and then we came down here. Yeah.
Nice. Well, checks out
I don't
about
know.
right.
I don't remember that we did anything else.
Did
It's been
you
so
see
long.
any doors that you can remember? Thordane pipes in and he's just like, I was just remember inserting my long finger into the handhole is all.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure if we put the hand in the statue, something will happen.
Well, then should we go to that statue?
But before we go,
Yeah,
should
I
we
think so.
remove these? I don't necessarily trust that these will disappear again. So should we
But they'll
take them?
stay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean,
They're not doing any good here.
Zil, take note on where they are, and
I will remember.
And next time you come down here, you will be able to insert them hopefully perfectly. You've done
Great.
this before. You've already done the puzzling. So that's good. Yeah.
by
so
the
you-
way, has the room lit up a little bit since the
No,
necromancer
so
thing?
It's still
No.
dark. But the one thing that you did note is the heaviness of the room has lifted. This doesn't necessarily seem as much of the case for Zil. He's still feeling like lots of void mumbo jumbo going along here, but
Right.
the oppressive power of what was causing the fright is gone. So it was like a supernatural kind of fright and whatnot. So. Yeah, the room doesn't feel quite as heavy, but one thing that you do notice is there are still some candles that are lit up and around kind of the but the dais area. And obviously there is a small light coming from the doorway where the last room was completely lit by torches. I know there's a couple torches that you guys took off the walls, but there's still a few that are still lit.
Okay.
Well, Yuki's still very curious about just in general, because I mean we did a little bit of looking. We found the statue, obviously, but she wants to inspect the walls a little bit more. So
Okay.
should I roll for something?
Do you have a torch or something in order to do so, or taking a candle with you?
I mean yeah. I mean we had torches. I'm assuming they're still there, unless they got put out.
So Luxalia, I believe, still is holding a torch. I don't think she ever dropped it. And then Zil did drop his torch on the ground. And actually,
Yuki will just pick up the torch then if it's still lit.
yes, that torch is still lit and blazing.
Okay.
The one that is on the floor. So you can attempt to pick that one up as well.
Yeah, she'll do that and she'll fly around and just see if there's anything of use
Okay.
or interest.
Yeah, you look around, and actually this room, compared to some of the other rooms that you could tell there's been some patchwork and nice handiwork that's been going on, this room seems very old and actually original. Even all the way up to the support pillars that are here. This room actually seems older than the previous sewer room, as if the sewer system was introduced later. Something that is also catches your eye as you kind of examine the walls and whatnot is it has what looks to be a kind of zigzag pattern that goes up and down the walls. But you follow it through, and these zigzags kind of go towards the back wall where they kind of accumulate together. And you notice that there is barely visible a small engraving of what looks like to be some kind of mountaintop and what looks to be some kind of city below. and then up above it, you see what looks to be a depiction of a crown.
Yuki, oh, that's very interesting. And she holds up the torch to the wall, and she's just like, hey guys, check this out. I didn't notice this before. And she holds up the torch to reveal that mural of the mountaintop with the crown above.
This used to be the main keep of some
I mean,
civilization.
it appears to be really old, that's for sure. I don't know if it's necessarily older than the fortress, but it definitely appears to be older than the sewage system that we came through. Well, maybe this is a key.
For each of you here, because none of you are necessarily natives to this island or anything of the sort, I'm going to actually have each of you make a... you're going to make knowledge checks for me, and you're going to be making them at despair for me.
Okay.
Despair is -2 or
despair is disadvantage. So roll 2, take the lower.
Knowledge. Oh no, I'm bad at knowledge. Oh no.
That is a 4. Yeah.
And actually,
Belden, come in clutch.
I'm gonna have
Can
Luxalia
Thordane
just
look?
do it normally.
Thordane
Luxalia,
try.
6.
Ooh.
Okay.
No, Belden got a 12.
Belden got a 12. Thordane got what?
I don't know. I'm looking. Sorry. What is his? I think he's pretty good with knowledge. It's 3. 12 for him. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Thordane and Belden. So Belden, actually, I'm gonna discount that one. He's not really paying attention. He's not really capable of the thought right now. He's just kind of walking around. But Thordane, he actually kind of looks these up and down. Yeah, Thordane is an elf, so he has lived much longer than the rest of you. But he is actually relatively learned, considering his relative young age of 140-something years old.
Young pup.
Yeah, young pup for an elf. One thing that he does kind of go up and down, and he mutters to himself, is how familiar that this looks. Especially, he's seen this in a book, and he just can't name the book off the top of his head. But the same image, actually iconography, was etched into the leather of the book that he was having. It was obviously a translated text that he had. It wasn't an original one. But the thing that comes to his mind is Nalbundar, the word Nalbundar. He's just like, there's some kind of mystery that is hidden behind this word, Nalbundar.
Maybe that means friend. Maybe we can enter by speaking it.
One thing that you do know, who in the party can understand and speak Elvish?
Yuki can.
Not me. I can speak
Thordane can.
Yuki and Thordane. Yeah. It seems vaguely Elvish, but it seems like a very archaic form of Elvish.
Okay.
So at some point, would Yuki know that Zil can speak Draconic? Has that come up yet?
Whoa, what? Really, Zil?
Yeah. He couldn't.
It hasn't come up.
As you just discuss languages.
Well,
yeah,
maybe...
I know Draconic.
Wow, and then I just start speaking to him fluently in Draconic about how amazing it is and how incredible it is, and like, hey, we can have conversations behind everyone else's back.
We can't. Elvin's a punk.
I can just picture wait. Belden can speak Draconic or
No.
Can he?
No,
I don't think so.
Just Zil. Well, it makes sense. Being in Helix, they have actually a very close relationship with Dokul Darathral, which is the Black Draken capital. So you probably hear Draken speech a lot throughout Helix, so that would make more sense.
Nice.
Also, because forging is why Zil knows it.
That too. So that's helpful.
Cool.
Great. Is there anything else you want to check out in this room before departing?
I don't think so. Luxalia, can you give this room a blessing or something before we leave? I'm still creeped out by it.
I'm very creeped out.
of course.
All right, go ahead and make a piety skill check for me. See if this has any effect.
Is Luxali the only?
-2?
Yeah, you got struggle still.
It's nice.
I said struggle's brutal.
Yep, we've been dealing with it the entire time, Luxali. It sucks.
Piety?
Piety.
6.
Nice. Solid.
You begin to say a prayer, unsure if it really dispels much of what has already been dispelled in here. One thing that you do notice that your eyes are constantly drawn to is the middle of this circled area. Yeah, it looks really sketchy with all the skulls and bones all around it. However, inside the middle, it is not tarnished with bones, and you feel very, very vividly manic energy coming from there. Definitely not an energy of evil, but you seem kind of, Luxali, especially you, seem almost comforted by this, but you're not sure if like your prayers like did anything of any effect. But yeah, you did helped yourself, if anything. That's good.
Cool.
Yes. Sweet.
Right.
I mean, I feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Well,
you
should
feel
we-
cozy?
Yeah.
Well, should we go give that statue a hand? You know,
We
I think-
should.
Yeah.
I think that might be
Also,
a good idea.
and I start talking to Belden and Glyven. We can have secret conversations too.
Yuki turns to Zill and is just like, I have no clue what they're saying. Intercutting.
I don't either.
And
But
then
they
there's
don't know
Thordane
what
who's
word.
just standing there.
What's going on here? Wow, you guys are very learned.
Thordane would secretly understand it
I will
all.
speak in Alamnic.
Oh, God,
Does
no.
anyone understand Alamnic?
No. Only
Just
Alumnia.
me.
Only
And
Alumnia.
then, just out of nowhere, it's like, I also know this. Somebody help in void speech.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
this pierces. Kind of picture how, like in the Harry Potter movies, when Harry starts speaking parcel tongue, where it's just like almost kind of.
Nice.
It's not just like words, but it almost has like this like lingering effect, almost just like you're like speaking curses like out of your mouth, and it's just like, it just sounds so
dirty
simple, but everyone's just like, ugh.
A
Somebody
duel of the
help me.
languages.
Wait, you can understand me still speaking in Alamnic? You can understand. I have no idea what you just said, but can you understand when I speak Alamnic?
I'm just like,
Oh, okay.
not even knowing what he said. She said, I'm like, I don't know.
Yuki sees visual representations of shadow and light coming out of each of their mouths and just battling to the death right in front of her. And she's like, wow, I didn't know that language could do that.
And like
Sorry,
and Thordane, he stands up and
I know
he
this
does this
now.
with his imaginary glasses. Like, language is a very fickle thing. It's one of those things that have withstood the test of time. If you know what I'm
Sally,
saying.
I'd be concerned that I can speak this now.
Probably.
Do you know why?
Probably very concerning.
Why do I
I
know
don't know.
this?
I don't know, but
Maybe-
maybe there's a demon who has possessed you.
Yeah, maybe
It's
you're
hard to
evil,
say.
Zill. I think so.
Yeah. Might have to, get thee to a nunnery soon.
Yeah, well, you know.
Or a monastery, I guess.
Which is really funny because it's like
There's an
holy
entire
reason.
one-shot episode, The Exorcism of Zill. Let the power of Alamnia compel you. What?
Funny because it's actually a like blessing that I know this.
Useful.
How do you know that, Zil?
I'm just above game.
Oh,
Oh,
oh, is it
no.
a class thing?
That's a class feature.
Oh, well, there you
It
go.
literally came from
Oh,
my
yeah.
page.
Well,
Oh,
there you
I
go.
know. I just think it's funny. So
No one else, Zill doesn't know this.
Oh,
That's
God.
freaking
What the benefit of it? Why it
usually
comes as a class
speaking
feature? Who
in
knows?
tongues is
Yeah,
can be a good thing, but can
Yeah.
also not be a good thing. So.
yeah.
It was
We'll see. We'll see what
freaking out.
comes of it. I guess. I mean, it's been useful, I guess, at this point. But Yuki starts heading her way towards the door and like sees if Matic and Salik are still at the other end of the hall protecting the door.
And they still are actually at this point. Salik has slumped down to the ground, and he's just kind of like playing with something, some like rubble under his feet. Where Matic is kind of just like sitting there, like with his like leg against the pillar, and he has like some kind of dagger, and he's picking at something in his nails, almost as if they had no idea like there was even like a combat encounter inside.
Yuki comes out all haggard, more haggard than she looked when she went in, because she technically HP is wise. A little bit more haggard than she looked going in. And she's just like, wow, I'm glad you boys weren't able to experience that. That was just horrible.
Matic, he kind of like looks up at you and says, "We weren't in there for very long, though, and there wasn't any noise coming out of there."
Feels like I've been in there for a week, I'll tell you. And then she tells them the deeds that was done, and how like there was a Voldemort Michael Jackson there, and how it was real dark and scary in there, and that we found the last statue basically. And so she's like, so I guess we just need to find Duluth. Do you know where the entrance is for him? She pops up.
He kind of looks to Salic. Isn't that kind of your job, figuring this stuff out?
Well, I guess we just gotta continue to look, I guess, then. We do have one inkling of a suspicion of where we could go. I guess, Luxalia, do you want to take your Sinzirak role? I mean, Julia Childs role, Sinzirak role? And lead the way again?
Yeah. Why not?
Alright.
I'm assuming everybody still has like all of like their...
Yeah, they're a little bit more tattered than before, I guess, but yeah.
Okay. And question, as you go up to the main level of the Jungle Keep, I'm assuming Luxalia is going to try to keep up the same appearance as she has been throughout. Everybody else, what are you doing around Luxalia?
Yuki's gonna be on her right. She's gonna be her right-hand man. And maybe we'll still have Salic and Matic in the middle, like we had him before.
I'm
Any
gonna stand
objections?
in the far back and just look imposing.
Okay.
I'm the bodyguard.
Okay. And
Thordane
then-
is literally just gonna be there, so.
And Belden, I'm assuming too.
Yep.
Yeah. So essentially, at this point, Belden's capable of taking very simple orders. But anything past that is going to be quite difficult for him to be able to comprehend or even have the desire to do so. So the way that he's looking is like he will follow. He's not going to go out of his way to try to be fancy or like deceptive, most likely.
Nice.
So, you guys make your way up the stairs into the main floor of the Jungle Keep. And you notice that it actually is slightly more lit than it was before. Some of the torches that were on the wall are now lit. And actually you can see as you make your way up, you're in the front corridor, front hallway of the Jungle Keep. You don't see actually any cultists that are around here. You do see about 2 or 3 patrolling bandits, but they are somewhat lingering and relatively confused looking. However, upon seeing Luxalia specifically, they put their heads down and they just continue to like walk as fast as they can past your group. Anywhere you want to explore specifically?
Are there any doors that we haven't explored in this area that we've been?
So in this front hallway, not necessarily. There's a couple what looks to be cleaning closets with some buckets, some like water, very dirty water, some mops, and a couple brooms and a couple broken ladders. But other than that, in this front area, with the exception of the courtyard, you have not made your way into the courtyard at this point.
Let's go to the
Zil
courtyard.
and Yuki have looked down into the courtyard, but you haven't actually been inside.
Would we remember if there's anything, like, could we see anything of interest?
It was
from
dark, right? It was nighttime,
It was
right?
nighttime,
Oh, yeah.
so it still is nighttime. And from what you could see is you could see a lot of overgrown foliage, a lot of vines that had climbed up the inner walls, and a spattering of trees within. You could see very mossy pavement, but it was not very well kept.
Yuki pipes up to Luxalia as Sinzirak, and she's like, "So, Lady Sinzirak, where is it that you wanted us to go?" With the stone hand in hand.
You're silent.
Yep.
What?
Yuki just pipes up and is just like, "Lady Sinzirak, where is it that you wanted us to go?" With the hand in hand, the stone hand in hand.
Oh, yes. It's about time some of these imbeciles found the hand. This way.
And I'll go to the statue.
Yeah, you make your way towards the back with relative ease. As you continue to march forward, I'm going to actually ask, are you going to go around the right way, all the way to the back? Because basically where you are is you're like in the front of this building, in kind of like the front right quadrant. Where the statue was the very back left corner. So, are you going to go to the right around, or are you going to go to the left around?
We will go to the right around.
I will follow you. I will follow
begin
you
to
where
I'll
you may go.
The spirits of the party are relatively high, oddly enough. But you make your way to the right, and this is the hallway that you notice most of the torches have actually now been reignited. And as you pass down this hallway, you also notice there are no cultists standing guard. You walk further, you see one hallway where you haven't been down. You make your way over, you see what looks to be an open door with some candles on tables, and you see what looks to be kind of like a makeshift mess hall. And then you finally make your way to the door where the Sinzirak chapel was, and that door is still closed. Do you wish to do anything within any of these spaces before moving onward?
Well, Yuki wants to peek her head into the mess hall as she passes. Is it on the right or left side? I guess
Left
that
side.
depends.
Left side.
Oh, Yuki can't do it then unless without breaking formation. I don't know where Zill is placed. Or
I want to peek
everyone
in
else.
and see if there's any like food.
Yeah, you go ahead and you briefly peek in. As you do, I'm going to have you make a focus skill check for me.
Focus skill
Specifically
check.
looking for food.
12.
You look as you kind of pass by and you take the quick peek. There's some half-eaten meals that are sitting on the tables, but there's nobody inside this room. You do see that what look to be barrels upon barrels of fresh-looking produce, fresh-looking meat, all kinds of like really delicious-looking goodies. You notice that there's even a kind of like a bread cabinet that is in the back, along with what look to be like kegs of, you have no idea what, but kegs of something lying behind a bar at the back.
Guys, should we go get a snack? I'm hungry.
Quietly, Yuki turns back and you're like, "Yeah, I think that's a good idea, but maybe do we need to do it right now? I guess we could. It doesn't seem like there's anyone around."
The axe is getting heavy and hard to swing. I think I need some food.
Take a strategic turn into the room. I guess. Okay, we'll do it. What do we find?
So you guys make your way in as you continue to scavenge. I'm assuming you guys are looking specifically for food, specifically rations.
Yes.
Let's take a look. All right, so I'm gonna have Zill, you make a focus skill check. Yuki, you make a focus skill check. Thordane makes one, and Luxalia makes one as well. Everyone
I'm
but
so focused.
I got 9.
Nope.
Okay,
5.
5.
I'm not rolling well today.
It's get these not important ones out of the roll. Yuki got a out of the way. Yuki got a 13 and Thordane got a 8.
Okay. So, Luxalia, you automatically are drawn to the back to what looks like the bread cabinet, and you find 2 bread rations inside there. Zill, you are looking all around, looking for something delicious, although there is what look to be delicious dried meat sitting just behind the counter as if someone had been slicing them and laying them out to cure. Go ahead and add 2 meat rations. And then
heck.
Yuki and Thordane, you both find 2 meal rations.
Oh.
Nice. And I'm assuming Belbin's paying no attention to any of this. Okay. Well,
Oddly enough, the food doesn't even seem appealing to him at this point. He's just kind of like...
and as this is going on, I'm like pulling out little bits of good looking things and handing them to Matic and say like, or Yuki is, and she's just like, well, I don't know how much longer we have ahead of us, but it's good to fill your bellies.
I'm
young
going
ones.
to eat the meat ration.
Okay.
That's a 7.
Immediately, Matic, he actually goes back towards the kegs, and he uncorks one of them and grabs like a glass from one of the tables. And again, this place is dingy, but it's very well stocked. So the food and everything looks super fresh. But like the mug that he grabs, kind of like the tankard that he grabs, is like very old and kind of has like moss growing on it, and it's pretty gross.
Delicious.
He fills it with what looks to be kind of like a golden kind of liquid. This is going to just be an ale, so very typical beer.
What does an ale do?
So ale, they can be somewhat useful. They come, basically you can fill flasks full of ale. And where their use comes in handy, let me pull that up.
Oh, I have a mead and a lager.
Yeah, nice. So the ale. So basically consuming 1 flask-sized cup of this beer, the consumer gains emboldened on rolls against becoming frightened. Hold on.
Useful.
That's
For
really
them.
funny
Yeah.
too.
Against becoming frightened, charmed, or to pass courage check, and gains +1 to all resistance skill checks made within the next 4 hours. However, basically every time you drink one, you have to when you drink, you have to succeed in a DC 8 Fortitude survival check, and if you fail it, you gain the stupor status ailment. Which essentially what that is it gives you like a permanent despair on skill checks. So
that's really funny.
Yeah, you get drunk, and the more that you consume, so basically every like 2 charges that you consume, the DC increases by +2.
What does a mead and lager do?
So a mead is going to be your wine. Let's go ahead and start with lager though for the beers. So consuming 1 flask-sized cup of this beer, the consumer gains emboldened on hope rolls. Emboldened and hope on rolls against becoming frightened, charmed, or to pass courage checks. And they gain +2 to all resistance skill checks made within the next 6 hours. So these are basically really good to resist status ailments, pretty much. Mead, so this is going to be a wine. Consuming 1 flask-sized cup of this wine, the consumer gains a +4 modifier when performing healing arts or using healing items. They gain +2 to charm and influence skill checks for the next 4 hours.
Okay.
So wine helps kind of with healing. The beers help with resisting status ailments and stuff. And if anyone has sake or anything,
I do.
basically by doing that, it gives them temporary hit points by consuming.
Oh, cool.
So
Nice.
Sweet.
I'm gonna forget those details, but
it's okay.
It's okay.
If you have it in your inventory,
Resistance.
what is this again?
resistance and healing are the main things to remember, right?
Yep.
I'll just make a note of that. Resistant.
And then
I
just
think
acid
I
and
used to
also-
have sake.
Yep.
I think we still do, Cole. It's just
Someone.
Wait,
Yeah.
so
Ooh,
Augur gave like embolden on the mead gave like embolden on
golden
healing
sake?
rolls. Is that what it did? I'm sorry, my mom just walked in. I got distracted.
you're fine. You're fine.
For
The
which
mead.
one? Mead.
Yeah.
So mead Essentially, what it does is it adds +4 modifier when performing healing arts or
Great.
using healing items. So you heal whatever
Okay.
that is +4, and then you gain
Amazing.
+2 to charm and influence skill checks for the next 4 hours. So
Amazing.
that's a modifier. That's not like an emboldened.
Yeah. Also, I'm gonna throw a bread ration at. Wait, does Belden have bread rations?
I don't think he has any. I mean, I don't know.
He has
Yuki-
6 bread rations, Belden.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Yuki pipes up and she says to Luxalia, I think what you're thinking of, Luxalia, is Nigori Zake. I have that too. And she pulls out the little flask of it.
Belden is
Yeah.
a bread
Essentially,
ration.
what Nigore Zaki does is the
He's
consumer
using
gains
another.
+20 temporary hit points until the end of their next night of
Oh
sleep.
my goodness.
Wow.
But we could get drunk with it.
Yes,
It's
so
strong
basically,
stuff.
It's one. So every time you consume one vial size of it, so
Okay.
one basically just one charge. For the beer, you gain the effects after drinking 2 charges. This one you
Gotcha.
gain 1 charge, and it's a DC 8 per charge.
Belden rolled a 2 both times on his bread rations.
Nice. Better than 0.
You can't roll a 0.
It's better than.
It's better than a 1.
All right. Anything else, guys?
Yuki's good.
Looks all right.
Yuki
You
is-
look like you're gonna say something.
Dude, I know, but I can't remember what it was. Maybe something like, is there treasure? Or did we already look for treasure?
Treasure.
So this is pretty much just.
And that's probably coming from Belden.
Yeah. This is pretty much just a food room. So with the loot rules that you guys made, technically, this was food was basically all you were able to find. So.
Nice. Okay, cool. Was there another door on the other side that you said when you were
It
passing?
was before this, so there was actually a
Okay.
small hallway corridor.
Maybe we'll come back to that. We'll come back to that, I think.
So you
Maybe.
guys, I'm assuming you guys all in agreement. You continue onwards.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right. You make your way.
Oh, yeah.
And you pass on your left the closed door to the chapel. Anything that you wish to do? Do you wish to go in? Do you wish to continue?
Well, is there anyone making a commotion there? I know we told them not to go in, like the
There
guards
is
and stuff.
Nobody outside, and the door is closed from what you can see.
That's good.
Yep.
Let's keep it that way.
Yeah. Okay. That's kind of what I was thinking. Yuki's
There was
gonna
a slight massacre in there.
Yuki's gonna be like, I can fall. I will follow you. I will follow you.
And you
Where
make your way
go.
straight ahead
Follow
to the
me.
top right corner of the keep, the first floor, to which
Mhm.
this, if you remember, is the doorway to go down into the dungeon. You take a left, and as you make your way to the left, there are no extra lights that are lit here, but as you continue to move, there are still no cultists that are anywhere around. And actually, towards the back of this area, you don't see any bandits either. Your group is basically alone walking these halls.
Can Yuki make like some sort of check to see if like there's like been anyone here recently, or like if she can deduce any maybe direction, like footprints and dust or something that they went, or like there's
So
a mass
for the
exodus?
first one to deduce if anybody was here, make a focus skill check as you look for any clues for that.
So that's an 8. For the,
It's so hard to tell. It's really dark. Do you guys still have your torches in your hand?
I don't know if Yuki dropped hers, but I guess she does.
I think I would have put mine out. I doubt Sincerek would be holding
Carrying a
it.
torch around. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just a question.
Yeah, I'm
that I
above
didn't think
that.
of. Okay.
Yeah, Yuki has, I think, hers still in hand.
Okay.
I guess Zill's, technically Zill's, but, you know.
Still dropped his.
Yeah, I grabbed it. So,
Gotcha.
You're looking around and you don't see much of anything as far as footprints or anything of the sort. Although you did notice that, like, when you looked down this passageway, yes, you didn't walk down here like Luxalia did before, but you did notice that there were cultists here before, but they're not here.
Okay.
So, like, you can assume people were here, but they just haven't left any markings
Gotcha. Okay,
So-
cool. Sounds good. Yep. All right. On our way we go. Down the hall.
Completely undisturbed from your walk, you make your way to the back corner, to which you can see down both ways. You look, so looking back behind you, again, no lights are lit, but looking down to the left as you begin to turn the corner, yes, you can see that actually more of the torches have been lit here, and you can see kind of in a little bit of the distance what look to be a couple bandits, probably the same ones that are still making their rounds. Although to your immediate left in the far corner there is that same statue, and now that you actually have a torch in hand, you can take a look up, and you notice actually a lot more of the detail within this character. And it is a cloaked character primarily. However, one thing that you do see is it is a pearly white marble. This doesn't seem to be of original make, as you guys had noticed before, but it does seem still relatively old. And you do see what looks to be a hole where the hand is still. Go figure.
Yuki reaches out the hand to Luxali, and she's like, "Okay, Lady Sinzirak, if you must." Hands the hand. Like,
just some quick text about this hand. The way that the hand is shaped is it's shaped like this. And so it basically is the through the wrist, and then it doesn't have any. It basically has like a long like spike attached to the end of it. But it depends on how you want to like put it in. Do you want to put it in where? Sorry, my finger's kind of weird, but where it like it's holding like this, because the sleeve is
Like
out
hand
this
up,
direction.
hand side,
Or this
hand
way,
down.
or this way, this way.
What is the other hand looking like?
The other hand is hidden beneath robes. So it has like the long robes, and it's just like one like nub that's like out.
come hither.
Nice.
Motion.
Palm up.
Palm.
Palm up.
All right, so you insert the hand, and it fits perfectly. It like to the point where it's just like and you like feel a click actually, to the point where you can't actually pull it out now. And its hand is up. Its hand is still up like that. Although you haven't noticed anything or heard anything outside of the click. You look around, no movements or anything different. Anything else you want to do?
Was the click coming from the statue?
The click came from the statue as it made inserted all the way in.
Okay. Yeah, I guess she'll do that. Well, Yuki will just hold up the light for Luxalia to
I
see
will
if.
pull on the
pull?
hand as if it's a handle.
It like a handle like this way, like out. So you try
Slapping
to
Just
some
like,
skin.
yeah. Pull it like it's coming toward me, like it opens toward me.
Okay, so you pull it, and yeah, it locks in place. But you pull and nothing of the sort. One
Maybe
thing that
it's
you
a
do
push
notice
door.
as you pull though, the hand it's clicked firmly in place, but it slightly like wiggles in the socket.
I will turn
Push it down.
the hand.
Which direction? Clockwise, counterclockwise, and how far?
Cat.
Just say
So
clockwise.
that
or
it's facing
counterclockwise.
in.
So it's facing
Counterclockwise.
Yep. So
I
you
think.
turn it, and it begins to face in, and you hear as you turn.
Oh. Wow.
Small,
That was nice.
little clicks, and then you turn it 90 degrees, and it has a heavy click.
Wow. I'll turn it the other direction until I hear another big one.
You begin to turn it the other direction, and it is stuck in place.
Oh.
Oh.
Shake its
I'll
hand,
keep
Lady
turning it
Sinzirak.
the same direction.
Same direction, it is stuck in place.
Oh,
Shake
nice.
Pull the
I'll
statue.
try pulling now.
You pull, doesn't seem to do anything.
I
But you
push.
very much heard, so I'm going to actually, Luxalia, as you do this, I'm going to have you make a wisdom skill check for me.
Mm.
As you
All
turn-
right, dice, it's time to roll well.
Now is the moment.
Wisdom 12.
12.
Pretty good.
The click that the heavy click that you went didn't seem to come from inside the statue. Actually, the small clicks did. It seemed to come from above you.
I look up.
Yuki has holding the torch.
You don't see anything out of the ordinary.
Shall I fly up, Lady Sinzirak?
Yes.
All right, I fly up and see
Do
if I can
So
examine
you
anything.
fly up about 15 feet. So it goes all the way up, and you look around, and you don't notice anything out of the ordinary.
Maybe we have to go upstairs.
Potentially, yeah. I mean, Yuki goes back down and like grasps the hand like you're shaking it, and tries to like
Try
shake
pushing.
it, like up and down kind of thing, like shake the hand.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
it's just a stone statue. It doesn't budge.
Okay. All right. Well, can we check the door that we passed? Obviously, Yuki doesn't know that door was checked previously and it was locked. Can she check it?
Which door?
The door that was like they were trying to go in like a couple sessions ago, but it was locked. Like, there's no keys or anything to it.
In the back corner.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can attempt to try to open it.
Yeah,
do you just want to like brute force open it? Try to.
Well, she doesn't know it's locked. She doesn't know it's locked.
I know, but like
so.
check it for traps or like just.
Oh yeah, I
keep
mean
looking.
she's gonna call Zill over, I guess, because Zill has the keys. Zill, you want to check these doors? Look, Solly, did you check these doors? Do you remember? I'm sorry. Sinzirak, did you check these doors?
Oh yes. It is locked.
Let's try a key.
All right, so I believe you have 2 keys on you. Is that correct?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. So you
A bigger one and a
Minotaur
smaller
key,
one.
Minotaur key or other key.
We haven't
let's
found
start
a
with
use
the
for
other
Minotaur
key.
key.
What was that?
Let's start with the other key.
Okay, other key. So you insert it and it actually fits in perfectly.
Oh.
Great.
You turn it
Yeah.
and it's
Nice.
as if something happened.
Oh gosh, what happened? What have we done?
Just open the door. Just do it.
Let's push it.
Enough dilly-dallying.
So
Time
you
is
pull
money.
You pull it open and it looks like a partially collapsed staircase. And as you look up, you can actually see the night sky above. This looks like it could be some, and it goes up like it's a big circular tower, and it goes up to the 2nd level, but it's broken to above, so it doesn't have a roof on it. It looks like that this could be like some kind of back escape if needed, but you look inside and there's not much of anything else. But it does open up to the top floor, but it's a crumbled stairway, so it's like a good way to like jump down to get to the top floor, but you'd have to attempt to climb sketchy
It would be great if someone had wings. Oh wait. And she flies up.
Fly up. Okay, so Yuki, she flies up through this kind of partially collapsed tower, and you make your way up to the garrison. You look around in all direction, and night is fully upon you, and the moon itself is a very crescent shaped, so it's not super full. And you've noticed that it's become actually quite misty around. Not fog, but like kind of just like misty, as if like a hot rain kind of.
Gotcha.
And you look around and you see that there are actually now braziers lit at the front 2 towers. And what looks to be the gatehouse, there are 2 braziers lit up there now. It looks to be that there are a few, probably a handful, around 4 bandits that are manning this position, keeping their eyes peeled out front, but it looks like they're just manning these positions.
Okay.
You look some more, you don't see any cultists. Actually, do you plan to like fly around and move around the keep, or just...
No, I mean, I guess Yuki's gonna kind of try to get an aerial view since she's outside, if she can see where like the way that Duluth went is, like where it is, because we don't know at all where it is.
Yes. So basically, let's just say, so you're in the back left corner of this jungle keep. Let's just assuming that you're facing the back, you fly straight up. Generally, where Duluth might be would be to the left. However, it is a dense, thick jungle down below that. It is very intense.
But I know where like that we're close. We're like in the right area of where he should be.
You're in the right area.
Okay.
If he went in under the keep, he would be relatively under you.
Okay.
Is there any way
well-
like down?
Yeah, I'm also looking because again we heard the click above the statue, and so I'm looking to see if there's any way to get in through the.
So the way that this this keep is designed is it's kind of like a 3-tiered cake, if that makes sense, where you have like the big thick like garrison outer wall, and then you have this like small like centerpiece in the middle, which from what you've experienced is the Bloodluster's quarters is in the middle, and then up above that there seems to be a taller tower that you have no idea what's there, but like that middle part is going to be where the Bloodluster was.
Oh, the statue that we had the hand to is right below the Bloodluster.
Yes, right below where the Bloodluster.
Oh,
like
was this
where the sitting room of the Bloodluster?
So would this be like a way down for the Bloodluster then? Would Yuki put 2 and 2 together if that was the case?
A way down, like the
like
tower?
this would be like a secret like
the tower
like-
escape.
yeah the tower escape for him to get
not
down from there.
necessarily. Honestly, from what you kind of figured out, like it might be useful for a quick escape, but it seemed like that door was locked just because the room was of no use.
Okay. Well, I'm talking about like this the statue itself, like that we inserted the hand into.
So the statue directly above that is from
The
what
quarters.
you can remember. I'm actually gonna have you make a knowledge skill check to see like what you can remember in vivid detail of the room.
That's an 11.
11. So the general layout from where this statue is actually directly above, you noticed that there was a stone fireplace kind of directly above where the statue was.
Okay. Well, Yuki relays that information to the rest of the group. So when we were in the Bloodluster's quarters, there was actually a box by this fireplace where we got this hand from, and maybe that click came from the fireplace. So I don't know. Maybe it's worth going back and giving it a check at some point. But
No, I think it did come from up there. I heard a loud, you know.
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think it might be worth giving it a check. We were just up there. That's where we got the hand from. So,
Cool.
do you think
Yeah, let's
it'd be
do it.
worth going up there to check? I guess.
Oh yeah.
I mean, but we have to go down. We're in the
Yes.
we're in the right area as far as like the entrance for Duluth. She's talking really quietly, like just so like the people just in the vicinity can hear.
It's for real estate.
It's for real estate. So we're in the right direction. We just need to find a way down in order to get Duluth in. So I guess there's 2 options that we have. So that's what.
Let's
So should
jump!
Should we go? Should we go to the Bloodluster room?
Yeah.
Do you guys want to make your way?
I want to check it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, we'll do that.
Yeah.
We'll go the
So-
back way that we had originally found, that we came down through.
Back way that you came down through.
Yeah, like where like the sleeping quarters were from like the.
Okay. Yeah, I would
That's
say
closer,
you,
right?
You guys make your way over to the front right tower. Were there any rooms you wanted to check out? I mean, there was like a
Well,
similar hallway like along the
Yeah.
back, which to Luxalia during the tour, it was pointed out was like a barracks sleeping quarters. But that was
Should
it.
we quickly just make sure that there's no guards or anything in there, just in case it gets noisy?
Probably not a bad idea.
I will dismiss them if the need be.
Okay. Well, let's go. Take a quick look down there then, I guess.
So again, you're still on the first floor as you continue around towards the front tower. There, you look into the sleeping quarter, and there seems to be 2 what look to be bandits sleeping in beds. It's dark. There's basically 1 candle lit on like a nightstand, but this room probably could sleep about 10 individuals, and 2 of the beds are currently being used. And
But
you
is
can
there?
tell that these bandits are not sleeping well. They're restless. They're moving around, almost kind of like there's like a chill going through them, like kind of like shaking a little bit as they like try to get comfortable. But they're sleeping. Like it's like a very shallow sleep, but they're sleeping.
These poor bandits.
I know. I feel so bad for them. Yuki goes into the room and is like, "Lady Sinzirak is here. Wake up! Wake up!"
Like you two people like startle awake, and they are like in just straight up cold sweats, and they kind of groggily get out and like stand up, and they kind of like stand up kind of straight and like, yes, what can we do for you, ladies in Sirac? And they kind of like bow slightly.
Looks like, do you have anything to say to him? If not, I can talk. I'll do the talking, I guess. So what is the state of things that are going on? We were just down in the sewers. We can't seem to find everyone. Where is everyone?
He kind of rubs his eyes, although one of them rubs his eyes. He's just like, I don't know. Honestly, this happens every now and then where it's just us left to our own devices here in this tower. Although, how long has it been? How long have we been asleep? And the other guy talks, and he's just kind of like, I don't know, probably a good 30 minutes. So, from what you know, they've been gone for at least 30 minutes.
Okay. Well, I guess Yuki pipes up and is just like, we're just okay. At ease. Go back to sleep. You are not needed right now. And she just lets them go back to sleep.
And you hear them grumbling to themselves as if we have to get some freaking sleep in this place, and they just like grumble back into the beds.
Was there anything else that anyone seen or wanted to do?
Does Belden find any treasure?
No, he's
Belvin
not doing
does
anything.
not care to look.
All right.
Does Thordane find any treasure with his elf eyes?
Make a focus skill check. As he's
Okay,
specifically
what is your
scouring
elf
for treasure.
What do your elf eyes see? He sees a natural one. So whatever that is.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Basically, from what Thordane sees, this is very much a barracks where people go in and out of. You do not keep your personal belongings here. So it's basically just very roughly put together with beds and like a night table with a candle.
Thordane says, they're taking the hobbits to Isengard, and then just walks away out the door.
No idea what's
The hobbits, Isengard.
Yuki pipes up as she's walking out the door. I think that's Elvish, but I've never heard of it before. And she just follows him.
Alright, so you guys make your way.
Yeah, we walk through.
Out, and up until this point, there's really nothing of interest. No new areas other than like the one you didn't explore earlier. That was down that other hallway before you make your way up to the tower.
We'll come back to that, I think. We're already in the tower, so.
Okay. Make your
Let's
way up
go.
into the tower, and you find your way up into the top kind of garrison of this building. There are no cultists to greet you.
Not even the ones that were there
Not
originally?
even like the big burly men that were there before.
Gosh. Alright, well, let me go in.
Missed everybody.
So you go into the Minotaur Room, or you go into the other sleeping quarters? Kind of?
No, sleeping quarters, where the fireplace was.
Alright.
Guys, why are there no cultists anywhere?
So you have to make your way through the Minotaur Room or via the other place where Zil found his axe in order to get to the Globus.
Yeah, not the Minotaur room, the other place.
Okay. Yeah, you make your way in there.
We didn't join the sorcerer.
This place is still quite dark.
I think you're right, or Sinzirak. But okay, we still go in, I guess.
I didn't hear what you said, Cole. What would you say?
Oh, I just said maybe they joined the sorcerer to the party.
Yeah, I think they did.
It's probably bad news for us.
Yeah, probably. So we should find Duluth and get on
Yep.
with it.
Get on with
Yeah.
it. Yep. All right. So we're just gonna go in, inspect the fireplace really quick. We're going through the back way that we went to get Zill's axe that he found, and into the quarters of the Bloodluster, and
Mhm.
through there.
So you make your way in there, and you
Mhm.
see actually as you make everything is still lit. Everything is just as you had left it in the Bloodluster's quarters.
How's Cortex doing?
Yeah, so Krothos, you look into the
Prothos,
room,
sorry.
and he is also in a cold sweat. And you can see that he is just shaking in the bed, violently shaking. He's not just, like, unconscious where you had left him.
Thordane looks at him.
He is now unconscious, but violently shaking.
Thordane looks at him. He's like, what did you guys, what kind of state did you leave him? And he walks over there, examines him, seeing if there is any, like, ailments. Does he understand that he's poisoned?
You could tell him that he was poisoned.
We
I mean,
tell
you
him
guys
he's
witnessed
poisoned.
that.
So here's the thing. So Thordane can heal someone from unconsciousness with one of his skills, but does that also, like, he's poisoned?
Yeah, he's poisoned.
So is
he
he
cannot
is he
be healed from unconsciousness? Well,
can he be healed from poison while he's unconscious?
yes.
Okay, so he's gonna feed his other remedy to him that he has.
Okay.
And then
immediately
heal him.
he begins to calm down, and he's still unconscious, but he is laying on the bed without shaking at this point. The
All right.
poison has subsided.
And then Thordane has a skill that he can heal people when the unconscious state, so he's gonna use it.
Okay. And immediately,
Dang.
the shallow breaths get deeper, and he grasps for air as he opens his eyes and shoots up and looks back and forth and looks straight up and down at you guys, and he is just like,
Hi, sleepyhead. Yuki pipes in. Are you doing okay?
"Is the deed done? We leave this place."
It's almost done. I think it'd be good if you just stayed here for a little while longer, but you got poisoned.
Creeps.
It gives me the creeps too. You actually got poisoned, and we had no way to get you out of it. But our good buddy here, Thordane, was able to assist you with that. So you have him to thank.
I mean, we
gives
could
him,
always
like, a
like
nod.
disguise him.
I mean, that's also true. We could also disguise him. Although it's a little weird with a male draken going through. But I feel like we're at the end anyways. Maybe he could just come with
No,
us.
I'm not saying he joins us. I'm just saying like maybe we should get him like clothes to look like he's from here, so that
Oh yeah,
someone discovers him. No one's gonna be like, "What the?" You know.
I think that's a good idea. Zill, did you find anything rummaging the panty drawers of the Bloodluster?
There's probably something in there.
Yeah.
Oh, he's snuggling like a teddy bear or something, right?
Yeah,
That's
Yes, that was
or like
it,
a
the head of the
bearskin
bear?
rug or something.
it's
Yeah.
the stuffed head of a bear.
Wow.
Well, Yuki goes back while this is all going on to the fireplace and inspects it and see if there's anything that was
You inspect
triggered.
it, and the stone floor that had once existed there is now it's not there anymore, and it is a dark hole downwards.
Oh, well, I think we found the click, Luxalia.
Nice.
Let's go.
She lowers the torch to see how far down she can see into the hole.
You lower it, and you can basically see as far as the torch goes. However, there is what looked to be kind of like a wrought iron ladder that descends down.
Oh, there's a ladder, guys. Do we want to go down? Zill, do you
Yes.
want to go
Yes.
first?
Yes.
Did we give the man clothes so he doesn't look
you
like a
do.
prisoner?
They're kind of fancy clothes, and nothing really fits him all that well.
That's alright.
But he.
Oh! Can we go into the other room and grab like those freaking disgusting like half cultist butcher people's clothes and put them on him?
Yeah, those will fit him fine.
All right, we'll do that then.
Nice.
Yeah.
They're bloody, but it's all good.
Yeah, they're bloody, but they're like these
Happens.
like kind of like reddish looking. They don't have hoods, but they're like these reddish looking kind of like capes. They're like, yeah, it's interesting. They're robes. They're
I
nice.
see.
But you guys decide to go downwards into this dank hole, fireplace hole.
Let's
Is
do
everybody
it.
everybody going?
I mean, I think
Yeah.
so. Thordane will come up the rear. He'll be like inspecting, making sure everyone gets down to the bottom safe, and
I
then he'll
say
follow.
Zill or Belbin goes first.
Zill is going first. He's jumping head in.
Just jumping. Okay, no.
Okay, he's not. You know,
Yeah,
that's a
you
figure of
descend-
speech.
You descend downwards to what looks to be about 15, 20-ish feet, and you land on a floor. Are you carrying a torch with you, like the torch that?
Well, Yuki's
No.
following right behind,
Okay.
so
Yeah, you
she's got
guys
the
all
torch.
gather down into like this stone room, and you guys look. You're back most likely with the amount that you have descended in on the first floor, but on the inner workings of the room. Basically, there's like the room. There's like a wall that separates the hallway from the inner room. What you can deduce is you're on the other side of the chapel wall and on the other side of the wall that the statue was.
Gotcha.
So you've made your way down into this room, and it is an exact replica of the room above, except it's covered in cobwebs and dusty and is not lit or fancy in any way. It is an identical room in every way.
Oh.
You turn around, and what looks to be in the corner where the statue would be, on the other side, there's very clearly what looks to be a bricked-in doorway in that area.
Oh.
All right, Yuki, kick it
yeah.
in.
I thought you'd never ask, and Yuki donkey
One
kicks
shining
it.
moment.
You donkey kick a wall. You take 3 points of impact damage.
No,
as you
it
jump
always
off the
happens.
walls.
How many times does she do that, and it literally just damages her? I'll tell ya.
Stone walls.
You're a
It's her
true character.
quirk. It's her quirk, I guess. Is there any like keyholes? She's rubbing her foot. And
No,
stuff.
no,
She's
like
looking-
it's like you can tell that there was like a door frame that exists, but it was all bricked in.
Is there like any lights that we can light up the area at the very least, so we can see what we're working with?
There's some like basically torch sconces on the wall that like you can tell haven't been used in centuries.
Yuki lights them as she's limping around.
You do, and it's really actually interesting, kind of a sweet little fire display, because all the kinds of spider webs, cobwebs, they catch fire and they all over the place, and things begin to light up. But you see
good.
what looks to be, again, an identical, like almost same furniture and everything, slightly different configuration. Some kind of strange room, but where the Bloodluster's quarters were, so where like his sleeping quarters were, there's an open door frame, and you walk through, and this looks to be some kind of very, very ancient storage. I'm gonna have each of you make focus skill checks for me,
Focus skill
except for
check.
Belden.
Thordane, yo. Thordane got an 18. Yuki got a 14.
7.
Okay,
Be that way, Zill.
12.
12. All right.
Zilla's distracted apparently.
So Zill, you don't find anything necessarily of interest that's in here. Luxalia, with your 12, you find what looks to be a very small vial. You find a vial of improved mana potion.
Oh, snap.
What was Yuki's roll?
Yuki got a 14.
14. Yep. You continue to look in, and you find in the corner a box, and you open this box, and it contains what looks to be something wrapped in a cloth. You pick it up, and you have found 2 remedies.
Oh, nice. Cool. And then Thordane got an 18.
And then Thordane, so he searches through some of the stuff, and he is drawn to a corner. In particular, there's just something that seems to be calling him in that direction. He approaches at what looks to be kind of like a side table with a cloth over the top of it, and he moves the cloth aside, and underneath there is what looks to be a very small chest. And inside the chest, he opens it, and it's not locked or anything. And there is what looks to be a crown inside of this chest.
A crown.
Oh.
It looks.
You should put it on and see if it's cursed.
He does.
It looks.
Oh, no.
Incredibly old, like unbelievably
Wow.
old. He does.
Okay.
Does he want to put it on?
Yeah, he does. He's like, oh, look at this. Guys, look at me.
Oh, I found a new hat.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Does he look cursed
Is it
now?
just an old crown?
Oh, 1 second.
Oh no, that means it does.
Never just an old crown, Thordane.
Why did you tell him to put it on?
Well, that's what Thordane would do.
I wanted to
Let's
see if
face
it was
it.
cursed.
Yeah.
So,
Thordane is a curious fella, I'll tell you. He's all about the discovery.
He's
The
all about
kinetic
discovery
discovery.
and not thinking about the consequences to his actions.
Oh no.
guess.
Poor Thordane. Well, John's not here, so I guess,
Yeah, it's true.
he's dead now. He died. Oh gosh. Is he gonna be the king of the mountain? The king of the... Yeah, we saw the old crown on the picture, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does it look similar?
That it interacts with his cursed sword.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Freaking internal conflict battles that none of us know that's going on. It's good.
All
Solid.
That's good.
So he, as soon as he adorns this crown, his eyes go wide, and then his face kind of settles back to normal. And so none
Okay.
of you guys technically are
Aware of this.
aware really, or experiencing anything that's going on. But in his mind, words start to be able to go reeling through his head.
Oh no.
The
Yeah.
oceans crack, the seas will rage, and the heavens will flood with fire. For what was created good shall turn to ash from the works of the Prince of Liars. Our people will pay a debt of blood for their sins against all of creation. A war-scarred earth and a weakening will spells ruin for all the nations. Hidden in dusk beneath the stars, deceived by cosmic wonders, an evil lurks and cloaked in light, which rivals the heavens' thunders. In every heart, faith is tested, as a voice will echo on. Those who lose the will to fight will forever be gone. To the light, the lost shall gaze, but behind lies only deceit. And in their complacency and loss of will, doom is what they'll meet. But those who sow within themselves the hope of the dawn's true light, through sea, flame, earth, and heaven's might, steadfast you'll rise and fight. Through fallen realms and kingdoms crumble, time will ever loom. To harness life and death's creation will spell most certain doom. By holding fast, undaunted pass through the power of creation, within each pillar preserve the will to overcome tribulation.
Wow.
What?
Thordane's just like, wow, that's pretty cool. And he kind of like gives a vague like description about something about like the mountains and like people's souls being all like tribulated, and how you need to like there's 3 things that make you rise up to victory. That's what he says.
And one
Really
thing-
poorly.
And one thing too that he does notice, so he hears these words,
Yeah.
but he sees actually his vision becomes momentarily clouded as these words speak, and he can see in the kind of dark room, sitting at the far end, what looks to be a shadowed individual in a chair, gazing directly back at him. It looks to be the stature of a young-looking boy, probably around the age of 16 or 17. And then as soon as that happens, like immediately the vision is gone. He's no longer able to hear anything.
Thordane walks over in disbelief and like pats the corner, sees if he sees anything.
He sees a really nice
You
velvet
see that, Thordane?
chair. What was that?
I said, "You okay there, Thordane?"
Thordane is just all the
Looks
things
all
are
you
going
just
on in
sees
his
him,
mind.
Like,
He's just like, a boy, a little boy. I see him. Where is he?
17-year-old boy, not super little. Like
A young boy,
a young man.
a young man in the corner. Does anyone see him? And that's what he says.
nope.
No.
So there's a
Maybe
velveteen
you should take
what?
the crown off.
Like the figure was sitting in like a velvet chair, and like
Oh, yeah,
the
is the chair
chair's
still there?
Yeah, the chair's there, but
Thordane sits down and he's just like, king of the castle, king of the castle.
yes, this chair actually has armrests, and he sits down with the crown, and he's just like sitting here like pondering, like.
All right. As he's sitting there pondering, he's going over like the verses and stuff. He's just muttering to them under his breath what they are and like what he heard and what he can remember. So the rest of the party can
He
kind
has
of.
little issue.
Okay.
He's memorized this.
Perfect. All right. So he just is saying it, and Yuki's like, "Are you okay, Thordane? That's a pretty good poem. Where did you hear it?" And Thordane says,
He looks
"The
up.
crown told it to me."
Yeah, he looks up.
Oh my goodness.
He points to the crown. The words came from this, I'm pretty sure.
Maybe you should take it off. Seems cursed.
That's not creepy at all.
And Thordane pipes and he's like, "It's not the first time an item's talked to me," and he takes it off.
He takes it off.
What
no
the-
problem.
Excuse you, what? What do you mean?
Oh, like I mean, the sword talks. It's pretty cool.
You have a talking
Surrounded by a
sword?
bunch of pagans.
Why is this
Yeah.
the first time hearing about the
Like
talking
that's
sword?
Paul Luxalia is.
Well, I mean, she's kind of angry. She always yells at me and stuff. She doesn't like it when I sell her treasure, but like, you know, I guess she's pretty
Who sells
all right. And
what?
she's the sword again.
This is the first Zilla's hearing about this, isn't it?
This is the first I'm sure everyone's hearing about it because John didn't say one or two words about it. So,
Wow.
Oh no.
but I mean, she's pretty cool, I
Yeah.
guess.
You have a demon
Hey.
sword talking to you that you think is cool?
Well, I mean, I don't know if she's a demon. She's got a short temper, but like outside of that, I think she's okay. I think she's all right. I mean, it's the old wielder of the sword, from what I gather.
Does she have a name?
Does she have a name? I forget her name. What's her name?
Isn't it?
Did she tell Thordane? I don't remember if she told
yeah.
Thordane.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it's Calvinesh. You know Calvinesh, right?
That sounds very sketchy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she seems to be
Well,
doing okay
between
for
you
me.
and Zill, I don't know who I'm more worried about. Alright, let's figure out how to move forward.
Yeah. Is there anything else in the room besides the crown? Yuki's looking around as
There
Thordane's
is
being a
nothing
whack.
else of note. Just a lot of old furniture and like that kind of stuff.
Okay. No doors or anything that lead outwards or.
There is at the very far end, directly adjacent to where the chair is, a wooden staircase that descends down further.
Lead the way. Zill, you're first, my friend. And just
Let's go!
gestures, yeah.
All right, make an agility survival check for me as you begin
Sweet.
to walk down these stairs. They are very old and have begun to
Ooh.
mold in the humidity.
Yuki flies.
19.
19. Yeah, Zill, you make your way down with no problem.
Great.
Pointing out, in fact, along the way, guys, be careful. This is really sketchy, so nobody else needs to make checks to make their way down there.
Wow.
So
Thanks, Zill.
Even Belbin?
Welcome.
even Belden, yep,
Oh. Impressive.
yep, he just follows along.
Ooh.
And as you descend down, you descend probably about a good 30 to 40 feet into the earth. And it is now the humid kind of like dankness of like this like dusty room has now become kind of the presence of like a chilly kind of, you hear the distant dripping of water, subterranean cavern system. You make your way down here, and with only the light of the torch to basically light up your path, you're able to cast a lot of light in all directions. You make your way down, and there's a little bit of like still kind of standing water that's around here, and you find yourself in a room that's probably about it's fairly circular in nature, but you can tell it was hewed, and you can tell it is old, super duper old.
More old rooms.
And this room itself reveals itself on one far end. There's nothing in it except a large steel door that is on one end, very reminiscent of kind of like the kind of door with like one of those like handles. Circular.
Yuki gets excited and starts walking towards it real quick, stretching her legs.
Let's go.
Stretching her legs.
Should I do it, guys? Should I
So
donkey kick it?
FYI, just kind of a little bit of flavor about this door. It's huge. It's like basically take it where it's like it stretches from floor to ceiling, which is probably about 20 feet ish. So there's like give or take about 10 feet of earth between this lower area and above, but this thing stretches like really high, and it's just as wide as it is tall. It's big. Okay. Big door.
Never mind. She doesn't kick it. She wouldn't be stupid to kick such a thing. Is there a keyhole?
We have keys.
Yeah. Is there a keyhole?
You examine it, and there is no keyhole.
Well,
Can we attempt to pull it open or push it open?
So it does.
Is there a big wheel that we can turn?
It does have a big wheel that you can turn.
Hey, look, Thalia coming. So and I just like knocking on it like monkeys. And then freaking Thalia. Yep.
As long as you
No
don't
cramps.
get cramps, you're good.
Yeah.
All
right.
Yes. So there is a wheel. Who's going to attempt to open?
You got it, Yuki.
Okay, hold this torch, and Yuki pulls the wheel.
Make a
Big
physical-
wheel,
make a
keep
physical
on
skill check.
turning. All right. Good thing she's got really good physical. That's an 11.
11.
Yeah.
You turn and you just, and you can feel that this thing hasn't been turned in centuries, if not millennia. And you can just feel every ounce of time as you've just slowly begin to turn it. It gets to a point though where you can't turn it any longer, just because it's exhausting. Not that it's like stopped, but it's
Thordane or
exhausting
Zill,
to
can
turn
you
this
help me? This thing's so old and rusted. I can't do it.
I jump
I'm
in
so
to help.
frail.
Alright.
Don't be weak.
So I'm gonna have Yuki go ahead and make a second physical skill check, except you can go ahead and basically you get emboldened in it, but that just removes your struggle.
It
So
just removes it. All right, yeah. 11 plus 6. What is that? 17? 17.
With Zill's help, you're able to, and you finally are able to basically turn it 360 about 4-ish times, give or take, and finally you hear a thunk, and like it just like closes and it begins to open, and immediately you see a very dingy hand come out from the other side, pulling it in towards them, and you have revealed Duluth in all of his
Yo!
ragged glory.
Finally!
Oh my gosh. Finally.
Duluth,
Duluth.
why is your hand so dingy?
Speak for yourself. It's quite dirty and dank down here.
How long have you been standing out there? It feels like it's been months. Oh my goodness. Are you okay?
Give or take. About 24 hours.
Oh my gosh. Yuki calls to the party. Belba, do you have any like rations or anything for him? He's gotta be hungry.
Yeah, very indeed. And he has his hand out, as if expecting to receive something.
Belden just shakes his head.
Oh.
He does have rations,
I'll
but he
give you
ain't
a
gonna
bread
share them.
ration. Here you go, bread ration for you.
been a while since I've been in this place, from what from my lads have said. This looks quite fresh indeed. And he eats and he enjoys. Like, he scarfs this up with much delight. So it is what they say is true. Everything coming from here is fresh.
Yeah, I mean,
I have a question. Should we not have brought the dragon with us,
Oh,
knowing
Krothos.
that we were going towards an exit?
Oh, that's fine. I guess if he wants to leave, he can leave. I mean,
Alright.
it's okay. I mean, I
Yeah,
feel
and
bad for you,
Speaking
Krothos.
of which, yes, there is a long winding tunnel going in the opposite direction. You can't see the end of it, but you can assume it leads out because that's how it came in. So, yeah.
All right. Well, Krothos, Yuki turns to Krothos and is like, well, I mean, if you don't want to stay here any longer, I guess you're free to go. Just remember,
Wait, is
Remember
he
the
with
name.
us?
I
Yeah.
did not assume that Krothos was with you.
never
Pretty sure
mind.
we
We
left
left
him
him
in
in
the
that
Grand
room.
Old Bloodluster.
Well,
place.
when we get back to that, we'll find him, and then we'll tell him just to follow
Okay.
the path downwards. I guess.
Great.
Poor guy. I feel so bad for him. He has been through hell and back in this freaking fortress.
Yes, he has.
Oh, poor freaking Krothos.
And yet,
But
he's still
he
alive.
wasn't sacrificed.
It is, yeah. I mean, how he is, I don't know. He got freaking impaled by a Minotaur, just hanging and flopping around on the horns for a while. Yeah, he got,
Oh,
he was a
no.
In retrospect, that kept him alive.
I know. He got freaking poisoned. Oh my gosh, poor guy. I mean, both those kept him alive. The fact that he got poisoned in the battle and was just laying there unconscious also probably saved him, to be
true.
quite honest.
That's true.
But yeah, so Yuki basically just tells all the details to Duluth, including how we found the rest of the 3 statues and we killed Sinzirak, Bloodluster. Is he commenting on the fact that Luxali is wearing Sinzirak's clothes?
No. I mean, you
You know.
guys went in disguises to begin with. It's not
Yeah,
out
sure.
of the ordinary to like see that you're wearing things
Something
that are
else.
like, within to try to disguise yourselves. Like it's
Gotcha.
very clear that you guys are wearing disguises, so he's not going to question it. He doesn't
Well-
know that it is specifically Sinzirak's clothing, and he probably doesn't care.
Gotcha. Well, Yuki just relays all the information and all the people that we fought and all the adventures we did, and how are Salic and Matic happy to see him?
Yes, quite indeed. Actually, so much so, in fact, I forgot that they were with them. No, so
Yep.
much so, in fact, that they kind of like make their way up to Duluth and says, now how are my boys doing in here? And both of them are just like, ship-shape, Captain. And he's just like, well, what is the plan then? I have this, and he goes ahead and shows it to you. He doesn't hand it over. Do we have a plan with these thus far? And I'm assuming you guys had explained
Yeah,
to him.
we relayed the information to him, and we found like all the pedestals with the statuettes down in like the sewer kind of thing, and
Mhm.
so. And then she also goes ahead and explains how like there's still some bandits out and about, or I guess she'll voice act it. There's still some bandits out and about, but all the cultists, like the ones that were all in here, are completely gone, and so we don't know where they went. But there's bandits still here, so I don't know if they're gonna respond to you or anything. But
Is this
there's no
true?
cultists.
And if this is what you say, this is quite worrisome indeed. But you said, how many of my men are left here standing?
A decent amount. I mean, in the time that we've been here, we've only seen one bandit get dissolved. Yuki didn't see it, I guess. Well, Belbin would have relayed the information anyways.
No,
There was. Oh, okay. Well, Thordane's like, well, there was that
I
chap in this. Yeah, there's that chap in the sewer that got melted.
Melted, you say? Rough indeed. Rough indeed. And one thing that you have noticed is actually at this point, his mangled hand. So I don't know if you remember way back in the day when you guys found him literally like 2 days ago in a troll cave. his hand was like very, very messed up, to like to the point where like it's bad. Like at this point, it's like almost like completely black.
Oh gosh.
And he's not able to like really use it much. But yeah, it's there. It's basically like a black hand, and it's kind of just like hangs there limply, like kind of to the side of him. But his other one's kind of covered in bandages, and he's still not looking super duper great from that. But he says, well, casualties be as they may, I'm actually quite impressed with the lot of you. To be honest, I didn't think that I would be able to find any sort of trust in anything that you were saying. Yes, you did a number with my untrained men back at the camp, but between the lot of us, the fact that you kept your word as far as finding a way in here for me, dispatching of those that could easily you have fallen under their persuasion, I just think I might start liking the bunch of you. Now tell me, other than allowing you to have this trinket from the sorcerer, what will you have me do? I've been here, I am here in your stead, and you say my men are still out and about. Who knows, I might still have some sway over the things that they do and the things that they say, even yet within here, these walls.
I mean, what would be helpful would just be to rally them, either to help us or at least not get in our way.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where the cultists went in particular. I don't know if you have any sway over them, but I mean, numbers are always a good thing. I mean, we obviously Salik and Matic here have been really loyal to you. I can't imagine the other ones won't be the same.
I'm gonna actually have you, as you mentioned that, Yuki, I'm gonna have you make a wisdom skill check.
11 minus 2, 9 plus 3, 12.
12. You notice actually Salik's disposition has become less of that of hopelessness. And I'm not saying that he is like full of joy or anything by any point, like here. But you can tell like some of the burden has been lifted from him a little bit. And you can tell that this is mostly from seeing Duluth.
Well, good. I'm glad that he's chipper and ready and excited.
Not chipper, but better.
Well, better than he was. He was a nervous wreck.
Yeah,
That guy. Oh my gosh. Okay, cool. Sounds good.
Well, if there's anything that I can do to help rallying my men per se, let's best be with it. There's no time like the present.
Let's go.
Let's go.
So you guys make your way back in, up the stairs, back through the rooms, up the ladder into the Bloodluster's quarters. This time with Duluth in tow. One thing that you did notice, though, is the Duluth definitely has some difficulty climbing the ladder. He's doing it with one hand, and he's relying very heavily on... He barely has his hand and has almost zero function with his like blackened hand. But he's like leaning kind of heavily on his left side, like against the wall in the narrow passageway, kind of shimmying his way up. So it slows you down a little bit, but you do notice that he doesn't seem to. It doesn't seem to have bothered him so much, but yeah, it doesn't look like it's in great shape.
Hey, Duluth, remind me what happened to your hand?
That filthy troll pit. He was trying to get bits and pieces of me, and I wouldn't allow it, but he nicked me maybe a little bit too hard in this hand, and you can tell, like, the hand, like, around the wrist, especially, like, around this area, you could tell, like, big chunks of flesh had been carved out of it.
Oh!
To where now, like, you could tell he, like, bandaged it and tried to clean it as much as possible, but most of like the ligaments and like blood vessels in it are like either heavily damaged or just bursted, and so the flow to his hand is very obviously bad, and hence his hand is dying.
She amputated. Maybe later.
You might want to amputate that. Could affect the rest of you.
I've been thinking about that, but
You could put, like, a
unfortunately,
hook on it.
how can you be a bandit chieftain without a hand?
You know, I know this legend of a captain, and he had a hook instead of a hand,
Hook, you say?
and he was pretty cool. Yeah,
That sounds quite
lost it to a crocodile.
quite third age business. I believe there's such things as prosthetics these days.
Oh, we
Nothing
found a
like
hand.
wood.
It's the stone hand. Maybe we can get the stone hand for me.
I don't know, Luxalia. I think the hook sounds like a cool idea. I think it matches
I
his
thought so
aesthetic
too,
really
but I
well.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
We're just-
Oh my
we're just-
goodness.
makes you look tough.
Just collect all the hands and just give it to him so he could just like change hands. The stone hand, the hook.
Yuki walks into the bedroom with Krothos, relays the information to Krothos if he wants to escape. She also hands him the emblem that she found in the troll hut as well, of like, I don't know if this is yours or anything, but this is for you.
He takes
I'm
a look
assuming-
at it and he actually examines it up and down. And he says,
Mhm.
"Where did you get this?"
She explains the story of how she went and found Duluth, the guy in here. He can vouch for us. How we found it on like one of the corpses and stuff that was captured with Duluth and stuff. So.
That sad sot. I had a buddy of mine that I was traveling back to Flomberge with, and we were separated on the road. We were ambushed, actually, by the lot of these, and he points over to, like, Matic and Salic and Duluth, and we were separated then. He went ahead to try to go get help, but apparently it didn't do much good for him. I thought I was the one who was in grave peril, but apparently, as it turns out... And he holds it.
Yeah.
This is the emblem of our people, the people of Flomberge. He goes into kind of, not too in-depth of history, obviously there's a little bit of urgency that's going on here. Flomberge is a society of gold dragon that lives here on this island. It was in the time of the First Age. I mean, it's not our proudest moment, but it was overtaken by the humans of the First Age before, obviously, our draconic curse came in tow. It was the ancient city once called Ashalenthil, the city under the mountain. And there we hold dominion over Aishen Volcano. Not only is it the home to Nazrahim, the great gold dragon, but it is our ancestral holy land, where we stand and protect the Flame Pillar.
Yuki is like, volcano and village, and she recalls the image that she saw in the sewer, and she's like, does Nalbundar, what is it, Nalbundar, mean anything to you?
Yes. Actually, way long ago, all the way back in the Second Age, there was more than just Aishen Island. There was actually an extended part of the continent, a whole region, you would say. And that region went by the name of Nalbundar before it was swallowed by the sea. We had years of endless storms, endless earthquakes. And all of the people that lived in the lower portions of the continent were swallowed up by the sea. What was left of us migrated up to the base of the volcano. seeking Alamnia for help by looking for the high ground here on this holy land. Aishen Island is more than meets the eye, I tell you. It's a great place to be able to vacation and whatnot, and yes, it provides all kinds of commerce and whatnot for us Gold Draken, but it is the sacred site of the creation of all of the world of Everlast.
Oh my
It is
god.
said that Aishen Island, specifically the location of where Aishen Volcano is where Alamnia touched to be able to start creation. It's the cradle of civilization. The oldest Shalinthil has now become Flamberge, and we are the protectors of Alamnia's creation here on this island. There's a reason why we don't let the tourists venture all the way up to Flamberge itself. It's too sacred of a place for the Commonwealth to be able to see. It is not a tourist attraction to be able to... I don't know. Even if they are paying their respects, feels like it's our duty somehow to be able to protect this.
So what of the sorcerer then that's here? Do you think that has anything to do with the fact that he is here and is utilizing this?
I would bet that would be a very good assumption. Unfortunately, we have been unawares of this resident for his entirety here. He acts quite quietly, if you say so myself. I know there's some bandits here. This keep has been long abandoned. And it actually served as a traitor's headquarters. We can get back into the history of that a little bit later. But if we're all to make it out of here alive, and he picks up the hammer, which is kind of sitting on the side of the bed, and I will not depart here until I see this through.
Freaking sick. Well, Yuki's then she smiles and she's like, I'm happy to hear it, and I'm happy to learn a little bit more about your civilization. Being a Draken myself, I don't know much about the Gold Draken. I only know about the Draken of the Refinium Peaks in that area, but I hope that our cultures can learn a little bit more about each other in the future, and I just hope that we can evict this resident of evil together.
Indeed. And he kind of growls when he mentions that. And when all of this is over, come back to Flamberge. You're going to be welcome with open arms. As my personal guests.
Why, thank you so much, Krothos. Well, we'll make sure to get you out of here alive, we promise. And then what she came in here for was not a history lesson. She takes the bear paw from the rug and brings it back to Duluth. It's just
What do you want me to do with this?
Hey, Luxalia, do you think this would be a good prosthetic for him?
I think you would look very tough with that.
Alright, now you're getting on my nerves. Is this some kind of joke to you? And he holds up his flopping hand. It's gross, by the way. It's like
No.
pretty nasty.
Oh,
It looks like your strong hand.
Well, maybe there's something in here, and we go into the Bloodluster's little laboratory of nastiness and death. See if there's any contraptions that we can use.
Make
For
a
now.
focus skill check, Yuki. Anyone who wishes to make one can make one, with the exception.
Well, that's a
Great.
natural. That's a natural one for Yuki, so Thordane's gonna roll. That's a 15 for Thordane.
5.
8 and then a 5. Okay. Yeah. Basically, you go into this room, and there just seems to be like very little use of the things that are in here. It's gross, and it's mostly what you can tell is like torture tables and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
The one thing though that Thordane does notice is there is some kind of contraption that doesn't know what specifically it was for, but it looks like it is a contraption potentially to hold someone in place for whatever.
Okay.
But it could be used. The straps and stuff on there could be used as a tourniquet.
Thordane's like, oh, these are kind of nice, and he takes them off. He's like, is that arm giving you problems? Should we just cut off the blood flow? I mean, especially if it's going to be amputated anyway.
I haven't
So
made that decision quite yet.
All right, well here,
But
these are for
sure.
you when you make it.
And he has you guys help him basically tourniquet his arm to where it kind of stops the blood flow from going.
Cool. Alright, well, I guess no time like the present, as you mentioned. Should we go to the barracks that we just were, turning to the rest of the party, where the two other bandits are sleeping?
Yeah.
Maybe we
Yeah,
could get
we
word out.
should.
Yeah, we could get word out quickly if at least those two know, you know.
Yes.
You make your way
Like,
out
get
onto the rooftop garrison, and you see that not much in the ways of people out on top. There are a total of 4 bandits, however, that are out on top, again manning these what look to be arbalists that sit on top of the central towers, and they are still doing their duty. How do you wish to approach them? Do you wish for Duluth to just call out to them, or whatever the case?
Would it be weird for that to happen though? Like he's not supposed to be in
it'd
there.
be super weird, but how do you guys want to deal with this?
I think we should approach him slowly, kind of with Duluth behind us, and as we get close, have him come out to the front.
Is everyone still in disguises?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At this point, yeah.
Cool.
Well, we could do. I mean, there's one idea. I don't remember if you remember when we were on the Flortensia Luxalia, and I flew you over to the other pirate ship. Maybe we could do
I do
something
remember
similar.
this.
Yeah, we could do something similar with Duluth and just fly him up to the guards.
What is he
Potentially.
dead?
I am the ghost of Duluth.
No. Just to just to let him know that he's here. Or maybe that's a bad idea. I think that would scare them more than anything.
Yeah, I think you're
Maybe
right.
not. Maybe
I'd be
not.
like,
Maybe.
"Duluth, did you die? Are you back?
I think we should just walk up to them still in disguise and have Sinzirak here be like, we have a message for you. And then
Yeah,
Duluth will,
great.
surprise!
Let's do
Okay.
that.
I like that. Where should we go first? Should we go to the men on the tower, or should we go into the guys that are sleeping? Because they're in different directions.
Yeah, I guess sleeping guys first.
Okay.
So the sleeping guys are actually down below.
Okay. Well, we'll do opposite then.
But
Okay.
Oh!
I have one
We have to make
kind
our way-
of clarifying question. When you guys do reveal Duluth, are you dropping your disguises, or
Yes.
are you keeping your disguises?
Dropping it.
Okay, yeah.
Should we drop them after we introduce Duluth?
The
and
whole
not-
reason we had the cultist robes is because of the cultists, right? I mean, we have their leader with us, and he's obviously on our side. I don't see a reason why we need to.
But I think we should
Continue
let
to
Yeah, we'll drop that.
we have his leader first.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, maybe see how they react to Duluth first, and then drop our disguise if they
Good idea.
seem friendly.
Good idea.
Okay.
Good idea.
Yeah, you make your way out into the front wall in the garrison, where there's these 4 bandits kind of sitting in like the front gatehouse, and they're hunched over. They actually don't pay any mind to you as you make your way back behind. They look to be like scouring out in front the muddy pathway up to the jungle keep. How do you wish to initiate any kind of conversation with them?
Should we do it as I normally do? Lady Sinzirak approaches.
You hear kind of
Yeah.
a short little. And they turn around. Yes, ma'am.
I have a message for you.
And then I'll reveal Duluth.
How very gracious that Lady Sinzirak would come up here in person. But yes,
I know.
my message is all ears. All ears for your message.
I step aside. For
They
Duluth.
kind of look at each other and look out like as if they don't know how to react. And they kind of like look back and forth at each other like unsure. Actually, make wisdom skill checks for me.
Not one.
Non-natural 16.
Plus one.
14 for Thordane and 11 for Yuki.
Alright, so Thordane and Zill, they're able to kind of discern on their faces that the reason for their confusion is less to do with the fact that they see Duluth like there personally and like any reaction that way, but more worry for Duluth. Like they look kind of back and forth as if like Duluth is in some kind of trouble. And one thing that you actually notice is all four of them begin to start going down and gripping for weapons on their belts.
Thordane's just like, whoa, cool your jets. It's all good here, guys. Like in his Thordane way.
We're friends.
They look to Sinzirak, Luxalia.
I rolled a nat 1, so I'm oblivious.
You're hearing the conversation.
Oh,
So-
okay.
That was just
That was
noticing.
just like to identify like what they were
Yeah.
doing. You have no idea
Okay.
that they're grabbing like weapons or anything. So, but like you're hearing the conversation and like kind of like the shock in everybody's
What?
voice. So you can
Should-
react however.
Should we drop? Yeah.
I mean, I don't
No.
see why not. Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
look,
yeah.
Yuki hesitantly does so.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll take my disguise off so they can see my face and my ears.
Yeah, and that's actually the most alarming thing of it all is the hood that's kind of somewhat obscuring your face. You pull it back and it reveals this bright golden hair with these kind of like tall ears that stick out above, and a kind-looking face to where they have not like experienced that in who knows how long. It's something that is in stark contrast to not only the environment around them, but the just general facade of, I guess, the aura that's there. And you see this like tower that's like looming like in the center of this building, and you can see what looks to be some kind of green light coming back and forth from basically the illuminations there. But it seems to be all but ignored in the presence of Eclaas Eeas, but specifically this light that's shining from Luxalia. Luxalia is just kind of facade.
Nice.
In general.
I'll say, be not afraid. Sinzirak is no more.
Take their hands off their weapons. What was that? Sorry, I missed that.
No, you're good. I'll say, be not afraid. Sinzirak is no more.
No more. And Duluth steps forward, says, "Aye, that is right. Right under your nose. I thought I taught you much better than this, each and every one of you. We've sent in some ringers to help us take care of our current problem." And the four men, they kind of like stand up straight, looking a little bit confused, but eager to listen. Does anyone want to jump in?
I mean, Yuki basically is like, kind of explains Eclaas Eeas and our story and our just like generic mission and how this is super sus and we're here to protect you. We're on your side. We just want to get rid of this evil, menacing power. And she's just like, I don't know if you have been feeling it too, but this place is incredibly draining and it's definitely not a good energy. And I just think ultimately, if we just got rid of it, it would be the best for everyone, not only us here, but everyone here on Aishen Island.
We're here to help. We really are.
I'm gonna have Yuki. I'm gonna have you make a charm skill check for me.
Charm. 14.
14.
Yep.
Their guard seems to have been dropped, seeming to believe everything that is being said. They look at Duluth. Sir, what will you be asking of us? And Duluth, he stands. Hey, follow us. We're gonna gather the rest of my men, if there are many to begin with, down below. We're going to be raising holy hell. Get rid of a trespasser on our property. They make you guys, they agree and they join your clump of people.
Great.
Where to next?
I whisper to Duluth, actually, hell isn't holy by nature.
Duluth? Well, that might be true. But this looks like hell, don't you agree? He holds up his-
Yeah, but it's also not holy.
I don't know. He points to the hole in his wrist.
Oh no.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay. Never mind.
Where
He
should we
kinda chuckles
go?
to himself. He understands the humor, but he chuckles.
Where are all of the rest of the guards? Yuki turns back to Duluth and the rest of the bandits who are there. Where to next? Where do you think we should go to get the most bang for our buck?
Maddock, he kind of stammers up and says, well, the rest of them should be below. Unfortunately, there are much fewer of us than I originally had hoped. But with the leadership of our captain, of our chieftain, we should be able to create quite a distraction. So down below it is. We can check the barracks, we can check the, I don't know, sleeping quarters, and we can also check the kitchens or any other places.
Yeah, there was one hallway we hadn't gone down. I'm just wondering if there's anything in there.
Ah, now that is what's going to potentially give us the upper hand. And Maddock, he begins to explain that it is the armory. Basically, anyone who checks into in duty, they have to give up like their personal weapons in order to use like prescripted weapons. In a lot of cases, the weapons that they're given are better than the ones that they originally had, but there are a lot of weapons at the disposal there.
Okay. Cool. Well, should we go to the sleeping quarters first? Just start getting everyone and raising holy hell.
Well, let's put it this way. Maddock and Salic, you go around and gather up all of the men that you can possibly see, the men that are of our persuasion. Let's go ahead and meet right out front of the gatehouse in about 10 minutes. If there's anything, last things to do before anything to take care of, now would be the time to do it. And he kind of points to, like, nods to all of you to be able to do whatever you want to do. So you guys all can basically go do one thing during this time. Anywhere you want to visit, any place you want to, like, go check up on, anything like that.
Yuki is going to go to the what's it called? The Sinzirak Hall where we initially saw her and like take a peek in. Just take a
Oh, like the
peek
chapel?
in. Yeah, just like look through the keyhole, make sure like there's no one inside.
You take a look. It's locked, and it like
Okay.
from the outside of it, it doesn't look like it's been disturbed. You look through the keyhole, and it's pretty dark. There are some like lanterns there, but it does look actually a little bit different, as if like some of the pews have been shifted like slightly. Like you can't really remember. It's been a long time, but it does look something about this place is off.
Okay, well that's what she does. So, yeah.
Okay.
Thordane goes to the armory. Thordane's
Zill
real
also
curious.
goes to the armory.
I'm gonna have both.
Get somebody say weapons.
I'm gonna have the two of you make focus skill checks as you peruse your selections.
No.
It's a
We got
12
9.
for Thordane.
A 12 for Thordane and a 9. Okay, so Zill. Zill, you are able to find within, outside of just like the typical stuff that you find there, there's a lot of like very common weapons. So like you have like your things that look interesting to you. There's like a couple like iron battle axes, more long axes, a couple like iron hand axes if you wish to take, whatever the case. But one
Is
thing
there any
that
really tiny axes for waffle?
yeah,
Oh
little,
my
little
gosh.
tiny axes. Yeah,
Oh
there's some like
my lord.
shards of like trading dummies that like you can tell have like splintered. You could just like tie a piece of like, metal to it.
Great.
No. But you continue to look deeper into this, and there is actually one specific piece that catches your eye. You look over, and it is a battle axe in and of itself, although the craftsmanship seems to be slightly different than what you've been seeing, and it's slightly different than what your make. You identify it and you look, and it is actually a battle axe that is of Draken make, not necessarily of human make.
Cool.
Okay.
So this is a steel battle axe, and because it is of Draken make, there is a little bonus flavor to be able to add to that. Potentially, my mouse will work. A little bonus flavor. So while wielding a Draken craftsmanship weapon, you gain a +1 to weapon attack damage rolls on top. So basically, it's a +1 battle axe in any case in any case. So it's a +1 to hit with it, which doesn't really matter because depending on your proficiency. But you, instead of a +1 weapon, it is technically considered a +2 weapon. But it is still a steel weapon in any normal extent. So it's just it's just a fancier looking steel weapon. Thordane,
So basically the same as my Damascus battle axe then?
Same as your Damascus with less durability.
Okay.
So you kind of have two of those now. So Thordane, he looks around, and what was his roll?
It was a 14. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh wait. It might have been a 12. I don't remember.
Either way, he looks around. Like those two numbers don't make much of a difference, but
okay.
He looks around, and there's not a lot that like seems to like fit him. He is pretty happy with all the weapons and stuff that he has. He does see a couple interesting things. There is actually a couple crossbows there that he eyes for a second, and he's just like, I better not. But he actually goes over to the corner, and he is able to find what looks to be kind of this like clay pot full of arrows, and he sifts through them, and he finds 16 normal arrows, and he finds 2 what look to be flaming arrows. They're essentially tipped with some kind of I don't know. They look like relatively like blunt tipped, but basically you light them on fire and you can fire them off, and they basically act and add additional fire damage. So he has those as well. So that's what he finds.
Cool.
Okay.
I'm assuming Belbin's just gonna be doing whatever other people are doing, not doing much.
Belben, yeah, he'll just kind of like hang back. He's not going to do a whole lot.
Okay.
Not a lot of motivation. And Luxalia, what are you going to do during this brief time?
I'm going to find a place to pray for the success of our mission, and that light will be brought in the darkness.
Okay.
And I'll also drink a mana potion.
Nice.
So you do so. You drink your mana potion and you pray. Honestly, most of the places are relatively quiet, but one of the few places without anybody present is actually the courtyard. So you make your way down into the courtyard and you notice that it is overgrown, and there's definitely a presence here, but it's nice being able to feel some kind of wind and all that kind of stuff through your hair as you make your way here, finally uncovered from a cloak. And you do notice that you sit kind of on the edge of what looks to be kind of like a muddied up well. You can tell like it used to be a well that was deep, but there's been so much years of debris and everything that like it pretty much is filled up with mud and just nastiness inside. You sit there and you begin to pray, and then you take your swig of your mana potion, and I'm gonna have you make a piety skill check for me on top of that.
Okay, and remind me, it's a D4 and then +2 for the improved mana potion?
Correct. And that's all the way through 6. Like level
Okay.
6 arts.
Sweet. So I rolled a 2, so I can recover 4. And then my piety skill check. Not great. 8.
As you begin to pray, you notice that your attention through prayer is continuously drawn upward. There's something about the tower up above you that seems very, very off. Outside of just the abnormal kind of green glow that's coming from the windows to begin with, it's just a little bit sketchy. But you do see that that is a thing, and that is happening. You have this strong desire as you sit there and you gaze upon that and you pray to be able to just like see that light just go out. And that's something that you constantly are thinking over and over again, is you just want to see that light go out. More of like, it's just like to finally see this place like at rest and at peace again. But there's just something about this that is rubbing you the wrong way. So,
Good to know.
as you guys do this, you kind of congregate back in front. Luxali is the last one to kind of join the party. And you turn around and you see what looks to have been gathered, a total of, basically excluding Matic, Salic, and Duluth. You get Crowvault. So Crowvault is there. He is looking burly and just like as macho as ever. He is the man in all cases. But he's there. And they're surrounded with a total of 7 more bandits just in case.
Oh, that's so sad. That's all. That's it.
That's it.
Oh my gosh, poor guys. I mean, I'll take it, but poor guys.
The nice appearance of Zill's dad.
Yeah.
How does an orphan have a dad show up? What?
So really quickly, Max. Other than Salic, Matic, and Duluth and Crowvault, they were able to find 7 other bandits. Just total. Like, that's total, so including the 4 up top, so 3 additional ones.
Cool.
To be able to get. So, they basically...
Storm the palace!
Yes. And Duluth, he kind of turns around and he begins to speak, addressing first Eclaas Eeas. It's hard to believe that it was only a couple of days ago that we were just lowly scum, always serving some master to some degree. Yes, life was comfortable here, but unfortunately, I can tell it's taken its toll on each and every one of you, and that has not set well with me. I know taking to a life of thieving is not always the easy thing to do, and to be quite honest, it's taxing on the mind and it's taxing on the heart. And I know each and every one of you have experienced that in these past few days, past few weeks here working for our new employer. Unfortunately, he points to the group of you. This lot here has made our numbers dwindle, all the less, all the smaller. But do know that these men were fighting for a cause, and they were fighting under my tutelage and leadership. Do not blame any of these individuals for the loss of life of any of our friends, any of our colleagues. Everything that has happened has been because of the decisions that I've made, and I take that upon myself. Love it or hate it, it is the way that it is, and it is the life of an outlaw. You look to me as your leader, and I have not been such. I let this new person into our lives and tell us what to do. And now, enough is enough. These people, these friends that we have come to know, they're strong. One of them is stronger than all of us put together. But that does not diminish our worth. Each and every one of you came from somewhere. You have a backstory. Even if you think not so, there is purpose in this life. And there is a light that I see in these folks. There's a light that I see in these individuals that is quite attractive. Almost so to turn me from a life of thieving. But it is here and now that I choose to finally take my place as your chieftain. We are going to help these individuals. We are going to rid our home, Aishen Island, of this evil. Now who's with me? And each and every one of the people that are behind them, including actually Salic, Matic, and Crowvault as well, they all raise their weapons and they begin to call, they begin to cheer. Yes, down with these people! And they're kind of just like relatively inspired by this. Each and every one of you, I'm gonna have, with the exception of Belden, Zil, Luxalia, Yuki, and Thordane, you all gain 1 hope.
Yo.
Let's
Yo.
go.
That was a freaking good speech, yeah.
That was a good speed.
Now, I think we have one last thing to do before we're finally able to free ourselves. Downstairs we go.
I'm going to whisper to Duluth, or just kind of aside, what's in the top tower? Because there's a green light coming from there, and I really want it to go away.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. Unfortunately, it seems we're on the same path here. Now that is the residence of the sorcerer. Only those who have the means and the permission to do so are allowed to enter his quarters. None of my men have been allowed up there. Only cultists have been allowed in and out, and only with special permission. Now, I do believe, and he takes a look at the totem that he pulls out, the statue. I do believe with these, any kind of persuasion that keeps us out of his quarters is going to be dissipated. But I also believe with that, some kind of evil could potentially be unleashed. It works as a two-way thing. It keeps the evil in, and it keeps everyone else out.
Okay.
Our way to be able to go in is to remove that. And that green light is what you're seeing. I do believe by joining each one of these down below is going to dissipate that light, which is why he trusted each of his generals with one of these. So not one person can attempt to take the power from him. After all, we don't serve him anymore. And he serves a higher power. I don't know what the lot of you believe. I do believe that perhaps it's something that is of light, but he worships of something that is light too. A false image, a fake image, a desecration of the perceived notion of what Alamnia is. A wolf in sheep's clothing, per se.
We've been running into a lot of that recently.
Cool. Let's take it out.
And that I would agree with you. We'll stay here. You go down and do what you must. We'll prepare the battle plan.
Be safe.
Actually, Krothos, he stays with them too.
Oh no, don't die. Before we head down and stuff, I pat both Matic, Salic on the head and I'll be like, you guys have a greater purpose. Don't die. And then I give freaking Krothos freaking knucks.
Yeah, and Crow
Don't
Vault,
die.
And Crow
That's
Vault,
what I meant.
he says, hey, you don't have to worry, they're with me. If they're under my axe, under my defending arm, yes, we'll make it through this. You can tell he has a very heightened sense of himself.
Sweet. Right.
Yeah.
I
Nice.
trust you.
May Alamnia guide you all. And we'll head down to the sewers.
Make your way down, no problem. You're familiar with all of this. You make your way into the room. Again, you enter this room. It is alarming what you see in there, but again, nothing evil per se is in here. You make your way over to the central diadem, and Zil, he puts his basically the statues accordingly. He starts with he goes ahead
Very
and starts with,
timidly.
yes, lightning, and then he goes to fire, and he makes his way counterclockwise around, and then he makes his way over to the water, and then finally with the one that Duluth gives, he inserts frost, not frost, oh my gosh, earth, and it sinks down, and immediately all of the statues are in place, and the blue energy, the manic energy that is within the center of this stone diadem begins to lift and immediately dissipate in every direction, and it bounces off the walls, and it begins to light up all of the different basically carvings and etchings that are in the wall, all the way up to the crown that's at the top of the mountain, and immediately boom, it darts through the door and then up through the staircase, and in its wake you notice something interesting. There is now, instead of just a simple stone diadem, there is actually a chest.
A chest.
Should we open it?
I think so. Looks
I
all
like
you.
chests.
Do you want to take the
Sorry, not
honors?
stone diadem, stone
We should
diadem.
check for traps first.
I agree. Is there a way to do so?
Belden?
Yep. Belben, he's just like
Meat shield?
he approaches. All right, I got this. Go ahead, Zil, and roll a stealth skill check for me
For Belbin.
for Belben, and it's going to be made with despair.
Okay. I think he has +2. There's a lot going on right now that it's hard to read, but 15
15.
with despair.
He looks around, and he kind of fiddles with it. He actually takes a lockpick out, and he notices that it was indeed trapped, but he was able to very skillfully untrap it. He opens the box, and inside there is a key. It's a very ornate key. It
Oh,
has kind
no.
of like almost like a falcon beak, like double pronged falcon beak head, and on the handle of it, it has a sapphire, a ruby, a emerald, and then on the very back, it has a what is it called? A muskravite gem. Very rare gems are within this key.
Do we see the key?
You do
Like
see
the rest
key.
of us.
Yeah, like here's the thing. He's not up to anything. I guess the one good thing about what's there is he like just opens it and he pulls it out and he's like, this is what it is. Like, he's not capable of being devious right now.
Can you hand us the key, please?
He holds it out forward.
And I just take it.
Okay. You do so.
All right, Zill, master of
sorry.
keys.
Oh, yeah, I guess I'm the key master. I do have a bunch of them already.
And as you,
I do look at it very like, ooh.
Yeah, it's a fancy key. Anything else you guys wish to do?
Is enthralled by said.
Yuki's gonna quickly drink an improved healing potion, so that heals 40 HP back. So she's feeling good now. She's feeling ready. She's feeling motivated. That's it.
And as you guys finish up whatever preparations you need, I'm assuming everybody's good. Do you make your way out of the room?
Yep.
Zill is going to eat one more bread ration.
All right, perfect. Cole's not currently with us. I'll give him a chance to do anything like when he does get back. But do you guys choose to leave?
Yeah. I mean, I guess there's nothing else that we can do. We need to do it.
Okay.
We need to do the thing.
Okay. You leave. You exit the room and
I keep praying.
you go back into the sewers and you start to hear shouts from up above. As you go towards kind of the entrance upwards, you actually see, I'm going to have, what's the marching order here?
I should probably be in front.
Yeah. Typical marching order. Thordane coming up the rear. Yuki, Belden right behind. Zill.
Me.
And then
looks all yeah.
Between that. Cool. Yeah, you make your way over to the door, and a roped individual comes falling backwards down the stairs. And you notice that it is a cultist, and it looks like their face has been bloodied and bashed in. There is combat going on up above, and you can tell that it is bandits at arms against whatever cultists are left here.
Oh my gosh.
Let's go.
Let's do this. Oh my gosh. I'm so pumped. All right. We go up.
Alright, you run your way up, and you look in every direction. Definitely the cultists outnumber the bandits that are here. There's about like 2 cultists to every 1 bandit that's there. However, you can tell that the skill, particularly of Krovalt, Krothos, and Duluth, Matic to some degree, he seems to be kind of more supporting from the sides with a crossbow, but Salic, he's kind of basically glued to Duluth's side. But even with his bump hand, they're fighting and they're fencing it off, and they actually create a pathway for you through towards the courtyard. Duluth, he shouts at you as you make your way through. Find your way to the other side of that courtyard. There's a doorway that leads up to the tower. Go, we'll take care of this scum down here.
We're booking ass. Yuki being slower than everyone else. Yuki, Zill,
you walk your way through this courtyard and kind of pulling back some of the foliage, you notice that there is a door on the opposite side. It's a pretty big old door with some kind of gold fittings on it, and there is a very ornate looking lock that's on it as well.
Stick it in, Zill! Yuki shouts.
Puts the key in.
You do, and immediately you begin to feel something welling up inside of you, and immediately it dissipates.
Nice. Thank God you have
As
the
we're
key.
going towards this door, is my spidey sense getting...
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's like on red alert, going crazy.
We're going the right direction!
Luxalia, you take a glance upward, and that green light is no longer there. Now it is a red strobing light that is coming.
Oh,
Oh no.
You open the door, And as you do, almost kind of this breath comes out, and this like fog goes down. It is a spiral staircase that goes straight upwards. In your marching order, do you wish to make your way up?
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, what else can we do? Oh,
I mean, you can fly.
I can fly, but like, I have to land in order to attack anyway, so I might as well run with the group, right?
You make your way up, and as you do so, you actually hear calls from behind. You hear a giant draken call of Krothos. As he just slams his battle axe, you can feel it kind of like rumble the feet, or not battle axe, warhammer, as it kind of rumbles the feet of like the everything below. The battle has now made its way into the courtyard. As you can tell, cultists have attempted to try to chase you in towards there, but they were confronted by some of the movements of by Krothos.
Sick.
You make your way upwards, 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 upwards. This staircase seems to last forever until finally you reach the top. And cracked open, there's a wooden door with bright, brilliant red light on
Oh dear.
I'm so scared.
Once more into the breach, dear friends.
Yuki unsheathes their swords.
Yuki, what are you guys doing to prepare for whatever's about to happen?
Yuki unsheathes her sword and she's just like, bring it.
Got my axe out and ready.
I'm getting ready with. Yeah, I'm ready.
Thordane's like, oh, this is nice, and he just takes out his bow and notches one of his fire arrows, ready that he just found.
Sweet. You make your way into what looks to be a main hall entrance of this very ornate tower. It's got multiple levels, and the levels themselves seem to be clouded on each corner with a brilliant red fuzzy light. This is actually very reminiscent of what you experienced down in the Subterranean when you were with
Okay, how the heck do I
fighting
find out?
void crystals and all that kind of stuff. This is actually a relatively new experience. The only thing that Zill has ever experienced to kind of compare this to was when you guys were fighting Burgled Out.
Cool.
Yeah, you guys have made your way inside, and the closer that you get to either direction, where these almost braziers with this red light coming through, it almost begins to pain your heart, pain your soul the closer that you look at them, the closer you get to them. But there is a stair that leads down about 5 feet into a pit with what looks to be some kind of sacrificial circle immediately in front of you. And surrounding on every side of that circle, there are what you can only imagine to be enormous void crystals that are absorbing energy with what looks to be life force in front. And lined up all the way through the sides seem to be bodies upon bodies of fresh corpses. These corpses look familiar to you. Each and every one of these corpses has been someone that you guys have slain and someone that you guys have killed, including the Pit of Despair. Each and every one of them are lined up with
Oh gosh.
and you hear
I've sensed your presence here far too long. It hasn't been weeks since you've been here on this island. Are you the chosen
Yeah.
ones to come to the throne?
you don't see
Yeah.
anyone immediately. If anything, you actually look up for like in the direction of kind of upwards looking straight ahead above the circle with the void crystals, and there is actually a triangular looking thing that actually blocks your vision of everything below it, but you see a red light coming from behind. The voice continues to speak, and it's not the voice. It's not a voice inside your head. It's a voice of someone who's physically present inside.
Warriors of light. How is it in such a short amount of time you have found your way here in the throne room of our god? It is important for you to be able to experience each and everything that you see here to its fullest, and know that everything that you witness has been done by your own hands. It is my thanks to you and your presence here that has expedited the process, as you have said, that is about to unfold.
And immediately, down these steps on either side, you see will appear to be two occultist trolls.
That would be
Do we have to kill all those guys again?
I certainly hope not.
Oh no! They gotta healed. That's all I said. That's all I know. Oh my gosh.
They run down the sides here and then into kind of the area below. Right there. And you see, and they kind of begin to look at you. You can tell that these are like whatever is left of the sorcerer's forces.
now. Let's see if you can reap what you sow.
And immediately you feel this intense energy of something coming from behind you. And immediately all 6 of these individuals, they take up their staves and they look to be somewhat defending this area around. And that is where we're going to end our session.
Oh my gosh. Oh no, this is gonna be awful.
No, it's gonna be great.
It'll be fun. I mean, it's gonna be fun killing some freaking voiden beings, but man.
Well, let's just hope I roll high on initiative and can just
Oh
smash
my
myself in
gosh.
between the two of them.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh.
That'd be good.
Oh.
If anyone
Oh.
wants to give Zill hope, for his
You have
friend-
your hope.
Oh, I have hope. Heck yeah!
Yeah, that's true. Guys, this is I didn't know how far you were gonna get in this adventure so far, but you guys have finally made it to the big bad, the boss.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, about time. It's
Oh my gosh.
been a long dungeon. It's been
It
good.
has. Well, I mean, ultimately, so that's one thing I do want to talk about really quick. We talked a little bit about it on the podcast about earlier and stuff, but explain, Kyle, really quickly, like the just the dungeon mechanic to Everlast as opposed to normal tabletop RPGs and stuff for those who are curious about it.
So essentially what a dungeon is they're kind of like intense experiences that players during their adventure either find themselves getting sucked up into, going in by their own volition, whatever the case. While in a dungeon, they're supposed to be very oppressive atmospheres. I mean, this one especially so, but in the means where it's like, as long as you're in the dungeon, you cannot rest, you cannot leave. You basically have to see it through till the end. Technically, in some cases, you can retreat from dungeons, but they're supposed to be kind of like the survival to the nth degree. And so, like, it's always like, as a player, one thing to note is maybe if you like have a random encounter on the road and maybe you get beat up a little bit, like, it might not be the best thing in the world to utilize all of your like your consumable items, where consumable items are very helpful here. Because inside dungeons, you're unable to rest, you're unable to sleep or do anything like that. Yes, there are opportunities to be able to loot and potentially get things, but The survival is like you're supposed to kind of feel a sense of like dread, a sense of fear to a degree going into a dungeon. Mostly because one like wrong move could mean death for you, like unable to escape like certain circumstances. Like the party was just very lucky. Fortunately, this is their first real like dungeon that they've been able to go in, and so they've had like they're pretty freshly stocked like at the beginning of this with all new items. But typically, new adventurers aren't going to be going in here with potions, antidotes, that kind of stuff. So maybe Yuki's poison would have stayed the entire thing. I mean, the one thing that I think they noticed is, especially Luxalia and Yuki, they went into the dungeon with weariness, and so they're rolling everything with struggle, so everything is a struggle. It's one of those things that once you've entered a dungeon, it becomes very hard to overcome it unless you choose to abandon. And the not nice thing, but one of the things is like you can choose to abandon a dungeon anyway, hence there was technically a way out for Eclaas Eeas in the way that Duluth came in. So there are ways to be able to go out, although upon abandoning the quest, that actually does leave story plot lines untied, and it actually affects the world as a whole. So the goal is to go in and try to complete a dungeon on the first chance that you get, because if you attempt to leave and whatever the case, like it has like real world like implications of abandoning the quest. So yeah, there's that. So it's kind of fun, something interesting to be able to look at. But I don't know. I think this dungeon has been kind of interesting, seeing really the first experience. Obviously, this one is a way scaled up version of the one that's going to be coming out, like in the source materials. But yeah, Eclaas Eeas, they're finally here in their final room and figuring out what's going on and fighting down a sorcerer.
It's gonna be freaking sick. All right. Well, we do have a couple of announcements before we do close it out for tonight. So first and foremost, thank you everyone so much for all of us who have joined. So within the past month in particular, we have grown quite a bit. We've had a bunch of new people join our channel. So if any new people happen to stop by and check us out, and whether they've been checking out any of our previous weekly streams and stuff, and this is your first ever last stream, we hope that it was a really good experience for you guys. Again, it's our brand new tabletop RPG that we're producing here at Fantasy Forge Studios, created by Kyle, our dungeon master, resident dungeon master, or fate weaver in the terms of Everlast. And it's great. If you, Kyle, really quickly, you want to give a small, quick little description about the game of Everlast and just what it is in general?
Absolutely. So Everlast is a tabletop role-playing game that borrows from a lot of elements of different games. So whether it's war games, whether it's games like tabletop RPGs like Dungeons & Dragons, Pathfinder, whatever the case, and kind of implementing it into a cooperative play style, where I feel like in a lot of cases, what ends up happening in if you're playing just straight up a tabletop RPG, a lot of the actions that they say you can do without like having a lot of cooperative kind of fun, like kind of stuff like that. Or like if you're playing like war games, it does require like pretty much all cooperative play and that kind of stuff. So it's kind of that nice mesh between like the two of them. But needless to say, this world has been kind of a brainchild of mine since, like my sophomore year in college. It's been years since the creation of this, and we're finally kind of getting into the initial play testing of it. This game has been going for about 2.5 years, finally implementing it over to the Everlast play style and rule sets. As it continues to adapt, it continues to change throughout. And it's one of those games that it's going to be released in the future to everybody, and it's a world that is a quintessentially Christian world, so the choices that you make actually have real life implications on the way that your character plays, from allowing them to be virtuous and actually become strengthened in becoming virtuous, or allowing them to fall into vice, which could eventually lead to losing your character. So there's no murder hoboism in this game, with the exception of doing so and losing your character. So there's actual real life consequences to the things that you do in this game. It's not supposed to necessarily be a game where it's like escapism to where you can like play like a super evil character. Every single character in this game, regardless of how their backgrounds or everything, they're heroes. they're supposed to fight for good, for justice, whether or not they're religious and follow the teachings of Lamia, who's the god figure of the world. Like, it's up to them to be able to play. But the ultimate goal is, while you're playing this game, you learn very real life good lessons, and so that you can learn to be a hero for what is good, what is just in your real life, everyday experiences. So you're not just escaping to do terrible things in a game. You're escaping to be able to learn good life lessons. And so yeah, it's one of those things that it's been really fun in the creation. If you want to know more about Everlast, check out the YouTube channel. We have, especially the last episode of the Everlast podcast, we went into a lot of detail about the creation of the game and all that kind of fun and kind of the growing pains of that, but also just a lot of the joys of it as well. And if you have any interest about I'm interested in creating my own game, that's something really good to check out as well. But that being said, you can support our game in many different ways. Buying merch here at the Fantasy Forge. So we have amazing merch, as you can see, like regular Fantasy Forge merch. We have character merch, support your favorite characters. Yeah, we have the really cool hoodies and the t-shirts and all that kind of fun stuff. Guys, it's sweet. If you have a favorite character that you want to follow here on the stream, that's a really good way to support the channel. It goes to helping fund the creation of this game. Additionally, we do have a Patreon, so there's 2 different levels that you can subscribe to on the Patreon. There's the $5 level, which allows you to give hope, which essentially is a reroll, which again, as mentioned before, it's very valuable, especially in very dire situations. Or
Bill's going to be using it on his initiative.
Yeah, seriously, use it on your initiative. Do all the fun stuff that you can do. Very important.
If he needs it.
Yeah, if he needs it. And then at the $10 level, you get 2 uses of it per month. And additionally, you get access to all of the audio files of Eclaas Eeas, the 2 years before the streamed event. So, yeah, it's really exciting to be able to get this out and finally share it with you here on the Fantasy Forged channel. And I just really appreciate everybody who's been so supportive of it so far. The best thing that you could do is not necessarily donate financially, but pray for the success of this game. The ultimate goal is not to make a bunch of money off of it. Obviously, that's a nice perk if it does happen, God willing. But hopefully that it can make an impact in the lives of those who play it in a positive way and lead them towards God. That's the ultimate purpose of that, and that's something that I deeply believe in. I know Dane believes in, and hopefully the rest of our players and the people believe in as well. So. Yeah, it's just one of those things that if you guys want to support financially, you have many options to do so, and be able to actually get some sweet stuff out of it or whatnot. But also to kind of help grow this channel as well, especially seeing Dane and how much effort he puts into the studio as a whole, and just everything that he's introducing, especially in the recently. It's amazing to see the community grow and how wonderful and fun of a community it is. So I really appreciate each and every one of you that are here. And it's so fun, even on Dane's normal videos, Cole's and Max's videos, it's such a joy of mine to be able to just sit in the comments and see everybody just enjoy themselves in such a beautiful, fun way. So thank you, each and every one of you that are part of the Fantasy Forged just family, because that's what you guys are. We do this for you guys, and ultimately, I think this community is growing in a very, healthy way. It's great to be able to see it.
I agree, and thank you, Kyle, for all of that. I mean, guys, there's a lot of ways to be able to support Everlast. We believe in it. We hope you believe in it. Share it with someone. We upload to YouTube and stuff. So if there's an in particular session that you liked a lot, feel free to share it with your friends and stuff. Get the word of Everlast out there. That's the last thing I can add there. But as Kyle mentioned too, yes, we are a studio now. As of the last couple months, we have formed into a studio, meaning I'm no longer the only sole streamer here. We actually have 2 of our other streamers here along with us. So both Cole and Max, Cole Forged Great Axe, the M is silent, is also here. So if you guys want to give a quick pitch on what you guys do, your shenanigans, and what you do here at Fantasy Forged.
Yeah, so every other Friday. So
This
the
Friday?
next one is going to be next Friday, the 23rd. We do right now we're playing through Lego Star Wars, the new one. I forget the Skywalker Saga, I think is the title.
Honestly, I forgot how fun those games were. Like, it's so fun watching you guys play. They're just like so like sandboxy. It's great.
We're really bad at it. I know Kami makes fun of us all the time. Also, the name of my mouse and the fact, the name of my mouse came from that stream.
Waffle. Yep.
Yeah, Waffle. So we just have a lot of fun playing it. We talk about ridiculous things. We've known each other a long time, so there's endless content of our random thoughts and stories. And I also started a small bit of Star Wars themed cocktails.
Oh yeah, very fun
We're both
stuff.
over 21. It's both okay that we're drinking, and we encourage moderate consumption. But...
Moderate to severe plexoriasis.
Nope, we're not encouraging that.
So we just have a lot of fun, and once we finish that game, we'll do something co-op, some other co-op game. We don't know.
Cole, anything to add?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. We're not as bad as Max makes us seem.
No, you guys are good. You guys are good. You have fun.
We are average.
Solidly
and yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. Come join us. It's every other Friday, like Max said, and yeah, it's a good time. Good time to just hang out and play some games and watch ridiculous Lego Star Wars stuff happen. So,
and oh my guys, the cutscenes are so funny.
They're amazing. Yeah, they're great. Lego's great. But yeah, no, you guys have been such an amazing addition to the channel. Again, not only do you live your lives with the Fantasy Forged motto, but I think you bring that in your goofy selves. And I mean, I'm bad at games too, but people still watch me. No, but you bring that to the channel, and you make this channel as amazing as it is. And I think it's partially due to you guys that this channel has started to grow so much. So thank you. I really appreciate you.
Yeah,
I'm really looking forward to Friday with you guys coming back. And then yeah, just for myself as well, I do stream. I started the stream here just over a year ago, and we're still continuing to do it. Currently, we're doing a playthrough of Fire Emblem 3 Houses. It's really fun.
Guys,
we just hit
it's so good.
We just hit the time skip, and so like all of the characters are like all adult now, and it's just without too many spoilers. It's really fun. So we're having good stuff there. Come October, we're moving to horror game streams, which is going to be really fun. Thank you, Anonymous, for gifting. I see that. I really do appreciate it. Sarah, congratulations on getting that gifted sub. Enjoy it. But yes, thank you. But in October, we're gonna be moving to horror streams on my end. So we're gonna be playing some Fatal Frame is the first one we're gonna be doing. It's a Japanese horror series where you go around as protagonist and you take pictures of ghosts to kill them, basically. Of Japanese ghosts. You capture their souls on film, which is kind of nice. So we're gonna be doing that. And then we might play like some Bloodborne or maybe a Resident Evil game afterwards. But we're still going to be continuing on with some Fire Emblem this Tuesday and Thursday. And then Friday, again, you have Cole and Max to look forward to, which will be really good. And then this Saturday or this weekend as well, we're going to be uploading the Everlast podcast on our YouTube channel concerning sessions 10 and 11. So the 2 sessions we just played. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, it's crazy. We do have 2 more announcements really quick. I apologize. I know lots of announcements, but this is our time to do it. But the one other announcement that I do have is we are starting a new incentive for the year called Forging Our Way to 1,000. Like we mentioned before, the channel is growing really, really quick. And basically, it's just my way and our way here at Fantasy Forge to give back to you guys. We know and we understand that you guys are here and you're so kind and so supportive, and you guys make this community what it is. So we're finding a way to be able to give back to you. So every 50 or so follows that we get, again, all the way to 1,000, we're going to be adding some small initiatives, small prizes. We just had yesterday, Friday, Japan time, we just had our first giveaway. That Tubby Australian won an amazing Fantasy Forge shirt. Again, all you need to do is just be following to be entered into the giveaway, which is really cool. And also we're going to be adding different little incentive things. So for example, for the 250, which we just reached, we're adding a YouTube series where I'm going to be reading books that have changed my life as YouTube series, so they're just like books on tape kind of thing. And then my goal also is one day when I do eventually get back to America, maybe having some of the guys to get together and like actually having characters be voiced by the cast here at Fantasy Forge Studios as well.
Oh gosh,
If that's
fun.
something that you guys are interested in, but I think it'd be kind of cool. But there's that. We have a bunch of different incentives. For example, playing like Pokemon Unite together with all the guys. Doing things like you guys can choose our D&D classes and races for a one-shot that we'll do in the future. I know.
So fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be really cool. There's a bunch of really cool incentives that are going to cover all kinds of things. I know we'll be doing some Pokemon card openings as well, and just a bunch of different kind of challenge streams and stuff, like playing games to completion in one stream kind of thing. Not speedrun, but just playing games to completion in one stream. And then the penultimate goal is at 1,000. We're going to be having an entire weekend long stream where all of our personalities here will have different time slots where we'll be playing a bunch of different kinds of games, and it's going to be going all weekend. So obviously I might be doing a lot of the heavy lifting there. I know a lot of our guys are very busy when it comes to it, but we'll be having things that weekend from
Forge
tabletop
Con.
RPGs. Yeah, ForgeCon, right?
ForgeCon.
Tabletop RPG
ForgeCon.
stuff.
Let's do it.
As well as just like maybe some games that you guys are enjoying that we'll play on stream. We could play some multiplayer games. We could play all that kinds of stuff. But it's basically just gonna be an entire weekend of just straight streams, which is gonna be really
who
cool.
knows, I might actually jump in and play a video game or two.
It'll be good.
What?
But yeah, that's the goal. When we're
The
1,000, it's gonna be sick. Yeah, it's gonna be freaking sick. And then our last announcement I had in the back of my mind. Oh yes, we have a bunch of social medias. We have a bunch of that kind of stuff. I know you guys follow me on Twitch, and I really do appreciate it. The follows go a long way, but we do have a YouTube channel. Feel free, if you enjoy our Twitch content, we do upload all of our Everlast content and then a bunch of our other content. For example, Cole and Max's last stream is up on YouTube for you guys' viewing pleasure, so you guys can go and check it out on our YouTube channel. If you missed out on their last Lego Star Wars adventure, in preparation for this week, you can do that. And then we're also putting a bunch of other content there, exclusive content that will be uploaded. All of our podcasts are up on our YouTube channel, and then all of our other social medias. Right now we have a Facebook page, we have a Twitter page, we have a Discord as well, so we have all kinds of things. Yeah, join the Discord.
Decided to give Waffle a tiny axe. So.
Yeah, we're a very active community, so if you guys like having active communities who are very kind, nice, and just a wonderful place to hang out, that's our Discord community. So we're all family there.
Character, I'm very open for you guys influencing Zill.
Yeah, hey, how about that?
And that's the place to do it.
Exactly.
One last thing before we leave. So when are we tuning back in to go back into Everlast? So it's gonna work a little bit different. October is a month that has 5 Saturdays in the month. We will actually be playing on the 15th and the 22nd, because on the 8th I'm getting married.
Ooh, congratulations! Sacramental marriage.
That's the typical day that I know. It's a little bit confusing. I was legally married like almost a year ago, but I'm getting sacramentally married in the church, so that's what's happening. But it's like we have family and stuff coming into Japan, and lots of family in Japan that are going to be attending. It'll be a really fun kind of experience, but so we're not streaming technically on the second Saturday. It's going to be on
the third and fourth.
The third and fourth, which are like the 2 middle ones, so it doesn't throw it off too bad. So the 15th and the 22nd of October. That's when the next stream.
Cool. That's good to know.
Oh, great. Well, I think that's it, guys. We announced a ton of things. Again, we have 3 streams in the coming week: Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Friday being Cole Forged, Great Axe, the M Silent, and yeah, Everlast podcast coming this weekend as well. So, anything else, guys? Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Peace, dude.
You good? Okay.
And with your spirit.
Yes. All right.
All right.
Well, thank
Have
you,
a good
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.